Okay, and we're live. So, hey guys, we're just gonna be talking about what was? Oh yeah, there's this interesting thing that I learned through Dan here, which is there was a canon system for George Lucas, and I kind of wanted to talk about that. So, Dan, how do you want to start this?
Dude, you could start it. It's your stream.
Okay, like explain for people who are like me, they have no idea what it is. Just like for those who are unaware.
Oh, well, okay, so there are lots of franchises out there, and these franchises have stories, and those stories are organized in a form of continuity. But often more than not, so many stories are told in these franchises that they don't all fit. So often what happens is that, instead of using one continuity, often people that make these franchises will use many different continuities. And the most relevant continuities out of all of them would be considered what's called canon. Now, in George's case, he had at least lots of stories because Star Wars was a big phenomena. And as a result, there's all sorts of Star Wars stories, thousands, if not more. So George created a hierarchy of canon for Star Wars and any other Lucasfilm property when he owned Lucasfilm. And he basically used this to confirm the Star Wars multiverse canon system, meaning that every continuity is either another timeline or parallel universe to the main continuity, which is his 6 films. And this was before Disney got Star Wars.
Obviously,
Yeah, obviously. He has the same system for Indiana Jones and any other Lucasfilm property. This is so that any fan that works for Lucasfilm and writes books or games or whatever wouldn't have to be restricted to George's personal continuity, which is the G canon, the top canon, the main continuity, the continuity of his 6 films, and that they could branch off and tell their own stories. George also considers fans that make fan fiction or have their own imagination about Star Wars in these categories as well.
okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, and so let's see how many cannons are there. There's the G cannon, the EU cannon. Did you
the
say there was a
EU
T
is
cannon?
actually the EU is actually a part of many different hierarchies of canon. The S canon or secondary canon and the C canon, which I forgot what the C stands for, but there's a bunch of different branches of canon within the realms of the EU. The T canon in particular is beneath the G canon, and it's where the iconic CGI Clone Wars show takes place because originally both versions of the Clone Wars show were meant to be connected to the G canon, which meant that George originally had them be right under the G canon in terms of hierarchy. Originally, the 2003 Clone Wars, which, was originally the 2003 Clone Wars was a part of the G canon, but later George and Filoni decided to put the 2003 Clone Wars that people, still remember within the realms of the EU, and they replaced it with the Clone Wars that we're more familiar with, the one that I grew up with, and that's considered the T canon. It's not in the G canon
Oh,
because there are things in that show that don't match up with the films, but it is like very close to it. It's like, the second form of consistency.
yeah, and you're if I remember correctly, like you're a G cannon fan, right? Like that's your preference.
Well, I'm a Star Wars fan all around. I like most of Star Wars, but yeah, when it comes down to it, I'm a G canon fan before anything else.
Okay, yeah, I'm more of the EU. Like I've told you this before, but I thought I'd say it here. I'm more of the EU kind of guy, so
Yeah, I
I
know.
like the stuff.
I,
But
I love I love the EU too. I love most of Star Wars. I always did, but the G canon is my favorite. It's the one that I stand by. It's the one that I'm always going to be the biggest fan of. Like I'm a fan of a lot of Star Wars, but that's the one version of Star Wars I like more than anything else Star Wars related. You get it, right?
yeah, I get it.
Yeah,
Yeah, for
just
some
like
reason
you
when
with the
you
EU. You like the EU more than anything else Star Wars related. Isn't that right?
yeah, mostly because it has a lot of good. Well, it
Stories?
expands on what the movies give us, basically.
Oh yeah, the EU, I'd argue, is the most detailed version of Star Wars. Like they detail things to the number. Background characters have their own origin stories and death dates and birth dates and poems and stories. Like the EU is extremely friggin' detailed. It's crazy how detailed it is.
Yeah, I think it was. I can't remember if it was Vader Reviews or someone else, but I think when George Lucas was making the movies, I think he had like the idea that this was just a part of a grander story. Like everything has a story to it.
Yeah.
I can't remember if that's accurate or not, but
Well, when George made the EU, he basically wanted a sandbox for fans to play in because he knew that he had his films and that's what he cared about. But he wanted other people who like Star Wars so much, if they cared about it, to have an avenue to tell their own Star Wars stories, in particularly fans. That's how the EU was made.
oh
Yeah, Timothy Zahn, who wanted to make Heir to the Empire, technically, well, officially the first EU book ever made. Timothy's on, George gave him permission and he made a book trilogy known as Heir to the Empire, which is popular among the EU part of the Star Wars fandom and is iconic.
yeah, yeah. You said Heir to the Empire, right?
Yeah, Heir to the
Yeah,
Empire,
sorry.
yeah.
Yeah, sorry, I zoned out for a second.
No,
Yeah,
it's fine, man.
I'm pretty sure I know what that is. I just forgot what happens in it.
Well, it has one of the most iconic EU Star Wars characters, Grand Admiral Thrawn, which, in my opinion, is the best villain in the EU. But that's just my
Yeah.
opinion.
I kind of agree from what little I know of him. He sounds like an interesting villain or antagonist or whatever the fuck you want to call him.
Dude, after
Um,
Palpatine's defeat in Return of the Jedi, he nearly brought the Empire back. He
bloody fail.
outsmarted. Yeah, he outsmarted and he took down the he basically took down the new Republic in many ways, and it's crazy.
Yeah, I think of Thrawn as like there's certain types of villains like their menace isn't in what they can physically do; it's what's going on upstairs. Like they can defeat you with nothing but their mind. I find characters like that kind of scary.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. That's what makes Thrawn very unique. It's the fact that Thrawn, how should I say? It's the fact that Thrawn is different from a lot of Star Wars villains. A lot of Star Wars villains are, intelligent, but they're very powerful. Thrawn is not a very powerful character. Hell, I'd argue he knows some physical combat, but he's like normal compared to most characters in Star Wars, and yet his mind could topple governments.
Yeah, which again I think is very scary. Like some people
It's
think like an
crazy.
army is the most dangerous thing you can go up against. I'm like, no, no. If you have a very smart individual who knows where to hit you in the right place at the right time, that's scarier.
Well, Thrawn is a studier of philosophy and culture and art. So often, Thrawn is a heavy researcher. He basically Thrawn, if I remember correctly, Thrawn basically tries to know and understand his enemy before he destroys them.
As a joke, there, he's basically like Ben Shapiro. Ben Shapiro's not a smart guy, but he is book smart. Like he'll research things in advance.
Yeah. Wow, Ben Shapiro. That's the funniest comparison you've made.
I'm sorry, I couldn't think of any other one. That just came right to me for some
Yeah.
reason. Um, but yeah, that is an interesting kind of character. I might just get a digital copy of the Thrawn trilogy comics just to read it because I'm better with comics than books. But
Mhm.
yeah, he's definitely
Didn't
like one of the
he
top.
if I remember correctly, I believe Thrawn like admired the Jedi's access to great powers, but thought they were idiots for how they used it.
I mean, depending on the canon, is he wrong? Like on
Well,
some level, they were idiots.
I don't. I mean, Thrawn. If I remember correctly, Thrawn assumed that with the kind of abilities the Jedi have, they could literally have anything, and they decide to serve people. I guess he was. I don't know. He was
Yeah.
some kind of pessimist, if you ask me.
Oh, he was. Oh, I didn't know that.
Well, that's just my interpretation. I'm not saying he is, but often more
Yeah,
than not, Thrawn has a very you know how a lot of characters in Star Wars are idealists, Nathan?
yeah.
Thrawn in many ways is a realist.
Oh, so he's like Batman, basically.
Well, in the sense that, Thrawn just sees things how they are. He doesn't have these ideals of, what could be. He looks at the facts, he looks at what's been proven, he looks at what's possible. He doesn't look at what could be. You have a lot of Star Wars characters, whether they're good or bad, Jedi or Sith, or on the good side or the bad side. They're often trying to accomplish what could be, while Thrawn is just dealing with what is.
Okay.
Yeah. So in many ways, he's a character that's the antithesis of Star Wars itself, which is why, to me, he was a very big threat in the EU, because due to his cold, hard nature, he was able to outsmart and take down a lot of characters.
Yeah, I don't know much about him. The only thing I remember about Thrawn specifically is like one of the things I remember about Timothy Zahn is like he was known mostly for creating two things, Zahn and Mara Jade, and they're both interesting characters. But yeah, I remember thinking this Zahn guy sounds kind of creepy the first time I heard about him.
You mean Thrawn?
Yeah, sorry, I don't know why I said that. Thrawn.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, but yeah, he's definitely someone I would not want to piss off.
Well, that's the thing. Thrawn is not someone that gets quick to anger. Hell, I don't even remember him getting pissed off. Thrawn's a character that's so passive. It's crazy how cold-hearted he can be. He's a very passive person.
I
He's
don't know.
not
Would you
quick.
need to have a grudge against you though? Like, would you want to risk having him have a grudge against you?
Well, the thing about Thrawn is that often, with the way I remember him, is that he's the kind of character that he won't get pissed off at you, he won't get angry, but if he sees no use in you living, he doesn't mind orchestrating your death.
Ah, so he's
Like,
kind of pragmatic.
in many ways, Thrawn is like a computer.
That's scary. Wait, like Hal? Is he kind of like Hal from what is the movie called? The year 2000?
How's yeah, and it's in the sense that Thrawn is just he's a strategist. He's basically someone who plans and orchestrates and strategizes, and he often thinks about, okay, with all this information, let's see how I can make this happen. And the thing is that when I'll give an example, often when Thrawn has his own fleet because he's a Grand Admiral, but often when his fleet fail, he's not quick to hate or kill or do anything. He's not like Vader or the Emperor, but if he believes that a member of his fleet is doing something that is, well, very much, how should I say, useless or basically pointless, or better yet, is causing an obstacle in his way, he doesn't mind killing them, because it's not a matter of how he feels. It's a matter of if they're a threat or an obstacle in his path. He looks at things from a very logical perspective.
Oh, so he has a low tolerance for. So, like Vader, he has a low tolerance for detriments, but he's a bit more calm about it.
Oh yeah, he's more kind. If it's like here, if I remember correctly, there was a quote. I believe Thrawn said that mistakes and accidents, no, accidents and errors aren't the same thing. He said something like accidents or mistakes and errors aren't the same thing. That he said something like if you make a mistake or an accident, then you genuinely, you genuinely made a mistake. But if you committed an error, that means that you're useless, that you have a flaw, and to him that's not to him that makes you pointless. You're not useful.
Uh, would
So
you
let's
say?
say
I was gonna say, would you say he's the most dangerous thing from the EU, or is there something more dangerous than him aside
oh
from the
no,
usual?
there's plenty of villains more dangerous than him, but I mean, like in the in the grounded sense, in the less mystical sides of Star Wars, he's very dangerous.
Yeah, he sounds like it.
Like he knows how to take down fleets in a full-on fight. If
Yeah,
I
whenever
remember correctly, in Heir to the Empire, he was battling like New Republic ships, like rebel X-wings, and he completely destroyed all of them with his plans.
wow, is he like a chess master kind of character?
Oh yeah, very much like a chess master.
Oh, he sounds like Mobius from Legacy of Kain. He was also like the chess master character. He always seemed to be one step ahead of the protagonist.
Yeah,
Protagonist.
Thrawn. Yeah,
Yeah.
Thrawn is always steps ahead of everyone. It's often what makes him a very dangerous threat, and it's just his character. There's something beautiful about it because his character is so different from a lot of villains in Star Wars.
Hmm.
Like
Do you
even
think
Tarkin.
yeah, do you
Tarkin's
think you could prevent cities from dying?
hmm?
Do you think you could do you think you could have prevented the second Death Star from being destroyed?
Well, if he was around, then probably. I
I
mean,
wonder
yeah,
where he was when it happened.
yeah, Thrawn wasn't on the front lines of the Empire around the time of the original trilogy, but many fans feel like if Thrawn was around during the original trilogy, the Rebels would have lost.
I agree. I kind of agree. You don't want a chess master for an enemy.
Yeah. That's why in the EU, when Thrawn shows up again from his fleet, I mean, from his voyage out in space during the time of the original trilogy, he nearly defeats the New Republic.
Yeah, I wish he had been in the EU books I was reading in middle school and high school. The ones I read had some guy who wanted Darth Vader's glove.
Oh, the Glove of Darth. Oh, I love that one. But that book is okay. It's silly, but it's a really interesting story.
I don't know. The thing that annoyed me was the antagonist. Like, he was obsessed with making Leia marry him. I just was like, what the heck? You have bigger priorities, bigger fish to fry.
For some reason, a lot of characters in the EU were attracted to Leia. I'm not saying it's impossible, but like it's just
Okay, Mara Jade, that would make more sense. Leia, not so much.
Mara Jade. Mara Jade is feisty and angry. I don't think who would want to mess with her. And she's a Force user. I'm not. I'm staying
Oh,
away.
good point. Good point.
Yeah, like, that's a
Here's the
funny
thing.
show.
Here's the thing, though. She's attractive. She's a redhead, and she's actually competent and knows how to deal with shit on her own. I
Mm.
find that weirdly attractive. I have no idea why.
Yeah. If I remember correctly, Thrawn originally was killed. Well, no, I think he committed suicide, but he died, if I remember correctly, in the third book of Heir to the Empire. It's been a long time since I've read them, but he died in the third book, which is why Thrawn is a short-lived character, technically speaking, in the EU. He's been brought over to the Disney canon for shows like Star Wars Rebels, and Timothy Zahn wrote some new Thrawn books for the Disney canon. Some say that those Thrawn books in the Disney canon are highlights of this current canon we're viewing because they're really good books. They are. Like, if I remember correctly, Thrawn was able to deduce in the Disney canon that Vader and Anakin Skywalker were the same. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
I think he did from what I heard.
Yeah, he did.
Which
Yeah.
that is scary. He's able to deduce stuff like that.
I mean, like, you could say knowing who Vader is simple, but I don't think it is. Like, if you lived that universe and you've never seen the movies, would you be able to tell?
I don't know. It would kind of depend on like if you had access to information and you knew to look for that information specifically. Like you would have to
Yeah.
have incentive to look into that specific information.
Yeah, because the mainstream in the Star Wars universe says that Anakin died after the Clone Wars.
Yeah, wonder what gave it away to Thrawn.
Yeah, apparently Thrawn deduced it.
I know, I get that. I'm just wondering what incentivized him or how he knew to like begin researching that.
Yeah. Now, I'm one who actually likes Star Wars Rebels. I mean, like, there's a lot I don't like about the current Disney canon, but I do like Star Wars Rebels. But a lot of EU fans and just fans in general aren't happy with the Disney version of Thrawn because the characters in Star Wars Rebels are nowhere near his level, and yet they defeated him. But I'm not mad about that. I felt like the way Thrawn went out in that show was actually brilliant, but that's just my opinion.
Yeah, you said this once when we were talking on Twitter. You said he couldn't really prepare for a bunch of what was it, space whales or space?
Someone else said
Some,
that, but yeah. Thrawn
oh, I thought
Thrawn
you
could
said
not
that.
see Thrawn couldn't. How do you Thrawn is a strategist. How do you beat Thrawn? You do something unexpected. Like if you're gonna act normally, Thrawn will be able to predict you. That's how he kept defeating the rebels in the show. But at the end of the final season, what Ezra did, Thrawn could not see coming. He couldn't calculate that.
Yeah, it's kind of like I had to get weird, but it's kind of like jungle warfare in Vietnam in the Vietnam War. How do you prepare? How do you strategize against people who like attack you at random and then disappear into the jungle, or strap bombs to kids and then send them to blow you up?
I mean,
It's a bit
yeah, I
like, it's
see your
like
point.
dealing with Florida man. It's a bit like dealing with Florida man. Like I remember this one story. There was a guy from Florida. The police he had a baby. The police were going to arrest him. You know what this guy did? He went
What?
full wild card. He threw the baby at them.
Well, shit.
Yeah, how do you prepare for that?
I don't know. Hey,
I always
actually,
found
dude. Hey, dude. Is it okay if I share a video?
that. Sure, go ahead.
Yeah, 1 second.
So, would you say Thrawn's your favorite EU character?
He's my favorite EU villain, not my favorite EU character. My favorite EU character is Anakin Solo.
Yeah, I don't know much about him. I remember he died, and I think that may or may not have
Yeah.
contributed to Jason snapping.
It played a role in a lot of characters' hardships, you know. In my opinion, he's Anakin reincarnated, but that's just how I feel personally.
Uh, yeah, I'd really like to learn more about Jason because he actually sounds interesting.
Oh yeah, Jason's a pretty interesting character. How should I say? He was he was he's basically very similar to Jason in the DC universe, which is ironic.
Really?
And I mean that in the sense that his pull to the dark side, he became a very aggressive person, which is very ironic because at first Jason was into nature and he was I don't want to say calm person, but he seemed like he was very mentally stable, you know, but all the wars and the trauma really got to his mind.
Yeah,
And
this is the
then
Vong, right?
yeah.
Okay, I heard he was tortured in that. I think.
Well, I did.
Well, I said I think. It's hard to remember. I read a lot of stuff about him online.
Oh, really?
Yeah, when I was in high school, I actually discovered the EU or Wikipedia. Basically, I would read stuff on there,
Yeah.
and the stuff I read, my mind was blown.
Yeah. I just want to show this if that's okay with you.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Agent Callis, make sure the workers are all present and accounted for.
Yes, Governor Price.
Callis has a new boss. Must be the one Sabine told us about.
Look sharp. This factory is being honored by a surprise visit from Imperial High Command.
Thank you for the introduction, Agent Gallus. My visit is not an honor, however, but an investigation.
Thrawn.
Vehicles assembled in this factory malfunction at a rate far higher than that of others. I believe poor craftsmanship is to blame, and it has cost your Empire troops and missions. This will not be tolerated. Worker 5473, you were pressed into the Empire service.
Yes, sir. After losing my farm.
Do you stand by your work?
I do.
This 624 AVA is the last bike you personally inspected and assembled. Please, demonstrate for me how quickly it can achieve full speed. We don't have all day.
Back in line.
Something's wrong. It's overheating. You're gonna have to shut it down.
No, the demonstration is not yet over.
Hey Nathan, you okay, man?
Yeah, I finally got the internet to work again. Sorry
Oh,
about
good for you, man. No, it's cool. I figured something happened. You want me to continue?
Yes, please. I actually want to see this. It looks interesting.
Okay.
Oh, the demonstration is not yet over.
I can't stop it!
Now that I have your attention, know this. Whatever you build here, you will test personally. I expect your malfunction rate to drop substantially. See to it that no one leaves or enters the facility. I wish to inspect the line for sabotage.
Wow, he is cold.
Yeah, that's what I said. Thrawn, like I said before, Thrawn will not like, he's not like Vader. He's not gonna force choke you. He's not gonna, torture you. But if he finds that what you do is opposes, like, the goal that him or the Empire is trying to achieve, he has no problem killing you. So it's not even a matter of emotions. It's a matter of, what's objective in like the cruelest way possible.
So he's a cruel objectivist, basically.
Oh yeah, an extreme, an extreme objectivist. Yeah, it's like I can't even think of any opinions Thrawn has, because whether we're talking the EU or the Disney canon, I don't know if Thrawn had, like, he never mentions any opinions of his own. He just talks about what makes sense from his, analysis.
Huh. Yeah, that was cold what he did. Like, I knew he was a cold son of a bitch, but Christ.
Yeah, and that's in Rebels. And Disney canon Thrawn is diet Pepsi. It's not Coke. Yeah, exactly. It's Diet Pepsi. It's not even Pepsi. It's Diet Pepsi. EU Thrawn is worse.
I can't decide what's more alarming, that or you like me watch Analyzing Evil.
Oh yeah, I watch analyzing. I don't know. For some reason, the way that cold, chilling voice. You have that horror music in the background as he's describing villains. I don't know. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah, I was surprised he did one on Griffith. I never watched it though. But anyway,
I
yeah.
spoke to him on Twitter once.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we had a debate about Star Wars. He felt like the Jedi were at fault for part of why Vader and the Empire were a thing. I disagreed. We had a very civil debate. He's a really nice guy.
Oh yeah. Well, I guess it depends on your canon. G canon, I would say I would lean more towards you. If we're talking EU canons, I would
Yeah.
have to agree with them because the Jedi and the EU were mixed.
Well, he uses the EU and the Disney canon for sources of reference. So
Oh, that's
it,
disappointing. Oh well.
no, dude, it's not. Dude, it's like the EU and Disney canon. They're added context, both. It's like honestly,
Yeah.
man. Honestly, man, he's a very nice guy. He's a very cool guy. He's very civil. He does see. Honestly, I wish I spoke to him more. He's pretty awesome. I only spoke to him once though. He did a video on Vader and Palpatine and Count Dooku and Darth Maul. Like, yeah,
Well, I
he
can't
did.
remember. Did you say who your favorite EU character was? I forgot.
I'm sorry. What did you say, dude?
Oh, I forgot. Did you say who your EU favorite character was?
Yeah,
I don't
Anakin.
remember.
Yeah, Anakin Solo.
Right. Sorry. Another brain fart. But
No, dude, it's
yeah,
cool.
yeah, no, I hate when my brain does that though. Yeah, I can never decide I don't know what my favorite EU character is because I can't count Boba or Django because they're part of G and EU, so they're in two canons. I think it's either Mara Jade or Star Killer.
Mm-hmm.
Like he was OP as fuck. Like he brought down a Star Destroyer. That's impressive.
Yeah.
So, wait, how many anti-heroes would you say are in the EU exactly? I'm kind of curious.
I never. Well, there are anti-heroes if I remember, but I never said that.
Oh, I'm asking if you know, like, how many there are. I was kind of curious.
I don't know the exact number, but there's a lot of morally complex characters in the EU. Like the EU, I've said this before. I've told you this before in Spaces. The EU takes simple concepts and complicates them to a very interesting degree. Like the
Yeah,
Jedi, yeah, you got some bad Jedi and some good Sith, and some good Jedi and bad Sith. Like it's not even a concept of good versus evil. It's very just complex to a huge degree. Like you have a Sith Lord who did absolutely nothing, didn't harm anyone. He was just rich, had a family, had lots of friends, died of old age, did nothing wrong. And then you have Jedi that slaughtered kids. It's like, it's like the EU takes these concepts and kind of, if I remember correctly, they just kind of like, they really add a lot to them to make them feel more complicated than they are. Like with the G canon, it's very simple. I mean, yeah, there's complex layers to it, but the morals are pretty simple. But with the EU, the morals are complicated, like crazy.
Oh yeah, like the only ones I consider anti-heroes in EU are probably like Star Killer, his clone, and
Do
the
you think we could
Fats.
do you think we could add Han Solo to that list?
Oh yeah, I forgot about him. Yeah, I think he could also count as an anti-hero because he's not a traditional hero. He's not motivated by traditional heroic motivations.
Yeah. No, but I thought that video would be a good example of Thrawn's ruthlessness. It's a scene from Star Wars Rebels, in case you want to know.
Oh yeah, I knew what it was. Like I've seen Rebels before. I've never watched an episode, but I've seen. But yeah. What was I gonna say? But I forget what I was gonna say. But yeah, like anti-hero is usually just a protagonist who does things, but he lacks the traditional heroic motivation. So I think Han Solo can either be an anti-hero or like a side guy who might be an anti-hero.
Well, some people say that Han Solo is an anti-hero turned hero because he becomes more. I guess he becomes more morally strong over time. But I mean, I always just interpreted him as an anti-hero because it's like, yeah, he does some pretty morally ambiguous things, but he is a good person deep down.
Yeah, I would say he fell victim to what I call like I think I told you once that I think Luke is the example of a flat character, but he actually had an arc, but then he became kind of like a flat character, and he's like the in that he changes people for the better. I think he did that to Han Solo.
Yeah, I think he affected Han for the better. I know you interpret him that way. I always interpret him as a positive change character. Like, yeah, Luke went through struggles. Yeah, he went through arcs, but at the end of the day, Luke stayed down the righteous path. A flat character for me, more or less, would be Obi-Wan Kenobi, because no matter what Obi-Wan learns, no matter what he does, his personality doesn't change overall. He's the same guy. It's just he'll learn things, but he's the same guy at the end of the day. To me, that's an example of a flat character. Like a positive or negative change, a positive change character or a negative change as people over time. Luke changes for the better, Anakin changes for the worse, but Obi-Wan he doesn't really truly change as a person. He's the same guy. He'll learn stuff, but he doesn't change that much. And that's a very interesting thing.
Yeah, I like to think. Actually, there's a similarity between Anakin and Luke, and there's a similarity between them and Vito Scaletta and Thomas Angelo from the Mafia series. Both
Yeah.
go down a similar path. Both had a similar path of being involved with the mafia, but here's where they differ. Thomas Angelo chose salvation, the light side. Basically, he chose his family over the mob. Vito chose the mob over everything else.
Wow.
So you
That's
could say Luke is the guy who goes. Both of them were involved with the Jedi on some level, but Luke stayed the course of the light. Anakin, it deviated a little, but he came back eventually.
He came back eventually, but he strayed down the path of the dark side. I love the duality of all six films. Like, you have three films showing someone progress, and then you have another three films showing someone regress. Very interesting.
Yeah, yeah. I just like the fact that we through Anakin we get a villain's journey. I always hear about the hero's journey. I want to learn more about the villain's journey.
I hear the villain's journey is pretty underrated. Like, it's not focused on that much compared to the hero's journey.
It can be, it probably is, but it's also depressing depending on the type of story it is.
Yeah, I could see that. I could,
Like,
but it doesn't
like take
matter what. It doesn't. Oh, I'm sorry. What were you gonna say, Nathan?
I just take Vader for example. Like, look at his life that led to him being evil. Like, it was depressing as hell.
Well, honestly, I'm not gonna say all, but most dictators have depressing lives, bad childhoods, and Vader is like that. That's why when I hear prequel haters tell me that it's impossible to imagine Vader as who he was because of Anakin in the prequels, I'm like, if you actually study history, a lot of dictators are like Anakin in the prequels, like a good number of them.
Yep, Stalin and Hitler come to mind. Vlad the Impaler,
Yeah.
Mussolini, probably if you look hard enough.
I don't know why people assume that if you're a horrible person that you've always been that way. That's a very stupid, in my opinion, perception of people. It's like you look at someone that committed atrocities and think that they were born bad when in reality something happened to them like everyone else.
Yeah, like, and you see this in Star Wars. Like, Anakin, he goes through like the negative change arc. I guess is what the term would be.
That is the term, yes.
And you see this similar thing with some of the most worst people through history, like Hitler, low hanging fruit, but good example. Had an abusive mother. Mother died when he was young, when a young man. Father was dysfunctional, if we're being, and that's me being nice. The
Yeah.
brother he was closest to died when he was a kid.
Hmm.
Oh, and then the piece de resistance. He participated in one of the worst wars in human history.
True. Oh, Nathan, I have a question.
Sure, go ahead.
You want me to add Bats on? Like, you met him in the Discord.
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah, let me see if I could invite him.
Yeah, I think you might be able to. If not, I can.
Yeah, I'm gonna see if I can send him a link on Discord. Ask if he wants to join. Did
Yeah, I can
Space
do.
Monkey and oh, I was gonna say, did Space Monkey and Frost ever want to join?
Space Monkey, I don't think he can do it. I don't know if it'll work with his phone.
Oh, okay.
But
Yeah, but anyone there yeah, but anyway, let me get back to the central point. There's a good number of the fandom that says it's they don't want to imagine what would happen if Star Wars had a multiverse, or the fact that Star Wars having a multiverse is a bad idea. And to them I say, well, it already happened. Like, it happened like before you guys even noticed. It was already a thing. When the moment George Lucas established the EU, the Star Wars multiverse was born. The Star Wars multiverse has always been there. The concept of multiple versions of Star Wars within, a network system, a multiverse canon hierarchy, a multiverse canon system. That's always been a thing. And George made it that way to satisfy everyone, or he tried to. But the thing is that despite all of that, these things have already existed. The concept of, infinity of Star Wars has been played with a lot, even in books and comics. In the movies and the shows, it's like the idea of other worlds and other dimensions. Like, these things have been played with in Star Wars before, especially with the Force. So these concepts aren't new to Star Wars. Star Wars is not a stranger to these things, especially if you pay attention to the lore, which is which very much dives into which very much dives into cosmic mythology. Sorry, that took me a while to say that.
that's fine.
Yeah.
I just like the fact that Star Wars is basically like it took. Like again, George Lucas does something I try to do all the time. He took a bunch of ideas from different places and stitched them together in a Frankensteinian way, but he did it right.
Oh yeah, true. He did. It's a very creative form of creativity that I adapted as well in my creative endeavors. Some people would prefer to just take one thing and that's what they base their creation off of, but like yeah, but sorry, troubled cat distracted me for a bit. No, but oh shit, I forgot my point. What was I saying, Nathan?
I said that George Lucas basically does what I do. He takes a bunch of different ideas and Frankensteinianly puts them together, but he does it right.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about. No, but anyway, it's like I feel like a better way than just taking something that you like and just basing it off of that. You take multiple things and you build something great from that. And in many way, by being influenced by many different things, you end up creating something new. That's a beautiful, form of creation.
Yeah, it kind of is. Like I just like that idea. Like they say, there's no originality anymore. So I say, yeah, no, just look around at different ideas. You can find something to mix together.
Yeah.
Like Star Wars. It's basically like it takes fantasy and samurais and gunslingers and puts them together in a sci-fi fantasy setting. And I like it.
Oh, it takes a lot of things. It takes a lot more than that. It takes a
I know,
lot
but this
more
is me
than that,
simplified.
dude.
This is
Yeah,
me
I know. That's
simplified.
just an example. That's just an example. And honestly, to answer Troubled Cat's statement, Rebels in my opinion, Rebels didn't create the existence of the multiverse at all. And the reason why I say that is because no, I don't believe Rebels did. I don't believe the EU did. I believe George did, and I do that, and I believe that because he point blank said it. He said that Star Wars has parallel universes, that his films is the main universe, and that there's other universes. George made this multiverse system a long time ago. The issue is that for some reason, people in Lucasfilm wanted to believe, and this is before Disney got Lucasfilm. This is when George ran Lucasfilm. people in Lucasfilm wanted to state that it was all one canon when it really wasn't, that it was all one timeline. It was never one timeline. But for some reason, people wanted to state that all the time. I mean, people that worked in Lucasfilm, they wanted to say that all the time. And George, in interviews saying the exact opposite. So it was very confusing. So now you have a lot of fans that always believed there was one timeline because they were told by people in Lucasfilm that that was the case when it really wasn't.
Oh yeah, I didn't know what I was talking about, so I just went with it. Like I haven't watched Rebels.
What did you say, Nathan?
So yeah, like I didn't know what Cal was talking about necessarily. Like I haven't watched Rebels. I've only seen clips of it, so I have no idea what it's done. So I got no dog in that fight.
Rebels introduced the concept of the world between worlds, basically a realm that shows you all the different points in the Star Wars timeline. And many assume that Star Wars just introduced time travel, which it technically did, because if you go through the windows, the portals of the moments of Star Wars history, you can enter that point in time. So in a sense, Rebels introduced time travel in Star Wars in a cosmic way. But honestly, the concept of a multiverse has always been there. And I say that because George introduced that concept and the idea of alternate events. Like in the we know popular in the EU, the expanded universe, and the Disney canon, it's very popular, the origin that Han Solo grew up on Corellia and that he grew up among crime and that he was a smuggler. Well, George had a different concept for Han's origin. In the EU and the Disney canon, Han grew up in Corellia. He grew up among criminals, and basically he grew up among criminals, and basically he decided to join the Empire. And Chewbacca, and he found Chewbacca there. Chewbacca was enslaved by the Empire, and he freed him. Well, that was his brief time working for the Empire. But the thing is that in the G canon, George had a concept where instead of all of that, George wanted to write that Han was raised on the Wookiee planet, and Han was raised on the Wookiee planet, and that Chewbacca was more akin to a father figure. And hell, Kid Han would have made an appearance in Revenge of the Sith when Yoda goes to the Wookiee planet of Kashyyyk and spends time with the Wookiees and Chewbacca. We would have gotten a young Han cameo. For some reason, they changed their mind on doing it, but that would have happened. So, yes, yeah, in the G canon, Han was raised on Kashyyyk.
Wow.
Yeah, he wasn't born on Corellia like in the EU or the Disney canon. He wasn't like, amongst criminals. He just grew up with Wookiees and then later down the line decided to get involved with crime.
Huh.
Yeah, but to me, that's major confirmation of the Star Wars multiverse. There's many other examples too. Like how in the EU, originally the Jedi and the Sith were once a part of one organization known as the Jedi that practiced the light side and the dark side. And they broke off over time because the different methods of practicing the Force was so chaotic that they just broke off into two groups. That's not the case in the G canon. In the G canon, Force users 1,000 years before Episode 1 were Sith Lords, and those Sith Lords ruled the universe with an iron fist. But they got so power hungry and so power thirsty that they all killed each other. And as a result, the Jedi and the Republic came in and took over. So in the G canon, there was no war between the Jedi and the Sith. Instead, the Sith just killed each other over power. And then the Jedi were made and the Republic was made, and they came in to undo the mistakes that the Sith made.
Huh.
As a result, the Sith wanted revenge on the Jedi. So, like I said, this confirms the Star Wars these examples confirm the Star Wars multiverse in the main universe.
Yeah, I kind of like the idea of a multiverse. Well, I kind of like the idea of like there being different ideas for stories, but yeah, that actually sounds interesting. Like I like the EU, but that still sounds interesting.
Yeah, it's basically the fact that George made a system where all sorts of people, including himself, could tell their own Star Wars stories. And in the main continuity, it's interesting how, our ideas of Star Wars, are connected to the EU or Disney canon, but George's ideas of Star Wars are just unique, like very unique.
Yeah, and this is why I will always side with George Lucas over everyone who his detractors. Is like he at least did something creative. Like this is all the stuff he's made with Star Wars, Indiana Jones, and all that. It's at least impressive. Like the people who bitch about him, like say Red Letter Media, they've done nothing that can compare to that.
Oh, and I'll disagree with you, Kat, on one thing. I don't believe that multiversal stories negate consistency, because to me, having a limit on what is doesn't mean that it's consistent. It's like a multiverse concept. You don't always have to use it in stories, but a multiverse concept brings consistencies, different versions of continuities. Hell, one of the concepts in Star Wars that George introduced is that the future is always in motion. This means that the futures that the Jedi and the Sith use the Force to see are never set in stone. Hell, George said this: Anakin had there was a prophecy for Anakin, but he didn't have to fulfill it. As a matter of fact, Anakin could have said, fuck this, I'm not doing anything, and just lived his life. Anakin was the chosen one, but he didn't have to fulfill the prophecy.
So is it like so in a way it's like you have each, like let's say a multiverse has like three separate things. Thing one has A and B. Thing two has A, B, and C. Thing three has just A, and then they diverge and pass and all that.
No, the multiverse is the concept of, well, really it's the omniverse, but let's just use the popular name. The multiverse is the concept of infinite possibilities. And in the universe of Star Wars, here's a quote: the future is always in motion. When Luke foresaw that Han and Leia were being tortured by Vader, Luke assumed that they were going to die and that he had to go save them before it was too late. Obi-Wan and Yoda were telling him that there's no guarantee that they will be killed, but that they'd rather him sacrifice their well-being for the fate of the universe. Because if Luke trains fully as a Jedi, then when he goes to face the Empire, he'll have enough skills and power to defeat them and defeat the Sith. But instead, Luke said, "No, I don't want to finish my training. I want to save my friends." So Luke left, didn't finish his training, got his ass kicked. His friends didn't die, though. His friends didn't get killed. But what did Luke accomplish? Nothing. He didn't even save his friends. He got wrapped up with Vader. He got wrapped up in a fight with Vader. So what Luke foresaw didn't happen. What Luke saw didn't happen. Instead,
okay, I kind of agree with Kat here a little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit. Like some of this is going over my head, so I might be missing some stuff. So
yeah.
But no, yeah, it does leave the door open for like, wait, can the multiverse of Star Wars, can that be compared to like Stephen King's multiverse, or is that a different kind of multiverse?
Dude, there's no different kind of multiverse.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's right.
The multiverse is the multiverse. No, yeah, I get what Kat's saying, but the multiverse as a concept opens the door for any possibility. There's no limit to it. It's endless.
It's
like
limitless.
Like multiplication. Yeah, exactly, like multiplication. So Kat's saying there's a risk to this, that with the multiverse opens the door to bad storytelling and all sorts of bad shit. And he's right, it does. It 100% does open that risk. But it's a double-edged sword. It adds a lot of it adds a lot of richness to storytelling.
So basically it's like tossing a coin. It could go either way.
Yeah, like I'll give an example. George said that if Obi-Wan didn't show up at the end of Revenge of the Sith to face Anakin would have become king of the universe. So Obi-Wan showing up to fight Anakin in Revenge of the Sith put the galaxy on a different path. Star Wars, the multiverse and Star Wars have never been strangers to each other. As a matter of fact, I'd argue the multiverse has been no stranger to any franchise, any story even. The concept of things playing out differently or infinite possibilities have always been a part of human culture because humans have always wondered, what if I did things this way or that way? What if things were different? Humans always fantasize about a different world. So the concept of infinity has always been there for humanity.
You know what my response to that concept is? What about the reality where Hitler invented a cure for cancer? The answer is,
The answer is don't think about it.
like, that's the kind of like cosmicism, mind crushing stuff that really gives me headaches sometimes.
And yeah, Trouble Cat, you are right. Fan fiction is peak multiversal storytelling. It 100% is. It is. But you know what? I've read some pretty good and pretty shitty fan fiction. Not all of it's bad.
Same here. Like I've seen more bad than good, unfortunately.
Yeah, I've seen 50-50.
Yeah, again, it's like tossing a coin.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, exactly. It's like tossing a coin. The most dangerous thing about the multiverse, but what makes it so beautiful is there's no guarantee of anything. And I guess you could argue that's existentialism, but you know. But
Yeah.
yes, Star Wars is no stranger to the multiverse. I can find a number of concepts of good, evil, lots of quotes from Star Wars itself that connects it to the very concept. The very idea that the future is always in motion, as George established with the Star Wars universe, is that it's what we do that matters. Yeah, Anakin was prophesized to defeat the Sith and bring balance to the Force. That is true.
Oh, Cat,
Anakin,
I know you're paying, Cat. I've been there too. It really sucks.
Yeah, Anakin was prophesized to to defeat the Sith and bring balance to the Force and save the universe, but Anakin could have said, "No, I want to do pod racing all my life," and became a pod racer. Nothing would bind him to do what he did. He chose to do that. He chose to become a Jedi. It's like George said this. George basically said that we all have our paths, but we could either choose to follow them or not. Yeah. So nothing is set in stone. Anakin could have said, "No, I will not, save my wife. If she dies, she dies." And the original trilogy wouldn't have happened. That's another possibility. Yeah, so Star Wars is anyone that thinks the multiverse concept is a new concept to Star Wars is wrong. It's not a stranger to it.
No, anyone who says otherwise, I expect has been a guest on Red Letter Media.
I don't think Red Letter Media ever talked about it because to me, they don't really look at the intricacies of Star Wars. They look at surface level shit, which is why they're dumb, in my opinion.
Oh, no, they're shallow. They are shallow pissheads as far as I'm concerned. This is why I hate them.
No, what I don't like about Red Letter Media's criticisms is that they can't see beyond, their perceptions of reality. And to me, that's why they fail to understand Star Wars. It's not it's like most of their criticisms come down to what they find cool and what they think sucks. There's no look at how does this work? Does this make sense? Is this consistent? It's more of this sucks and we don't like it. And that's short-sighted. Yeah,
this is why I call them shallow. Like they have shallow observations more than half the time, actually.
Yeah, it is.
This is why I say they are a cavalcade of douches.
Okay.
The douches among them being Jay and Mike.
Wow.
I'm sorry, I will not mince words here. Ladies and gentlemen, I despise Red Letter Media with an acrimony generally reserved for Disney and Bethesda. But yeah, fuck them.
There's some positive things I can say about them. There is. I don't hate them completely. I don't really hate them
either. I hate watch them, but sometimes, occasionally, they say something I can agree with. Now, granted, it's about as rare as Haley's Comet.
Right.
But yeah, every once in a while they say something I can say, it's actually not a bad thing to say.
Yeah. No, it's like there's some good things like they're funny. Like I'll say this, they could tell good jokes, they have good delivery, they're great with comedy. I just think their criticisms when it comes to Star Wars are horrible. I think they have some good takes when it comes to Star Trek, though.
I will deny they have a sense of humor till the day I die. Like I will deny that like some eternity.
Wow, dude. Okay. The thing is, like, I could separate how I feel with what I think is possible, and personally, regardless of how I feel about them, I feel like they're funny. They're funny guys. Like, I think they're
Well, you
very
and I have
funny.
different humor.
I guess we do. We probably do. You're probably right.
Like you have a more normal sense of humor. I have a dark sense of humor.
Well, I have a dark sense of humor too, but there's a limit. I'm not gonna,
Yeah, there's less of a limit for me. Like, let me see. Like, Bear Reviews, he had this one good joke about Mace Windu losing his hand. Between this and his time in Jurassic Park, that hand does not do him any favors.
Oh, Kat, if you're still there, do you want to join the live stream at any point?
Yeah, I could send him a link if he wants to join.
Yeah, sure. You could. Well, I mean, it's your stream, dude. It's not mine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we got another hour. Like, the limit for me is I think I'm going to be doing these from 2 hours from now on.
Oh, okay.
Well, maybe or 3. Hard to say. I'm very capricious sometimes. But,
yeah, but yeah, and honestly, I agree with Star Wars' view of the future more than any other, because to me, the future is always in motion. Nothing is set in stone. It's what we choose to do. It'll always be what we choose to do. It's not like, it's like, yeah, I do believe in destiny, but I also believe that, destiny is only possible if we choose to make it possible.
Okay, Kat. Thanks for responding
Yes.
regardless.
Yeah, that's fine, Kat. It'd be awesome to have you, but you enjoy that, man.
Yeah, he actually does some good work. He's actually working on something that's I actually thought was impressive. I don't know if he wants me to say it on here though.
Oh, yeah, that's cool.
But what was it? So yeah, if I remember correctly, you're a Jedi fan, right?
Well, yeah, of course. I mean, what kid wasn't?
This is fair point. But let's say the Jedi weren't a faction you could join. If you could join any faction that wasn't a Force user group, what would it be?
Honestly, I'd probably become a bounty hunter.
Same here. I'd join the Mandalorians.
Well, I mean, dude, even if you join the Mandalorians, that doesn't guarantee that you'll be a bounty hunter.
Okay, he says I can tell you. Yeah, Troll Cat's working on an RPG. I don't know how to show him the thing, Cat, unfortunately, but it looked impressive.
Cool, Cat.
Yeah, from what I remember, it looked impressive.
Yeah, that sounds cool, Cat. I'd like to check it out. No, but Nathan, if you become a Mandalorian, there's no guarantee that you'll be a bounty hunter. I mean, being a bounty hunter in itself is a choice that even Mandalorians choose to make.
Oh, if I survive the training process of a Mandalorian, no, I'm going to go like Django and become a bounty hunter. I'd probably use the same equipment.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Another difference. In the EU, the Fets were a part of the Mandalorians. They had their own clan. In the G canon, there's no relation at all. The Fets are just criminals. Like, they're just criminals. Like, in the G canon, Jango Fett stole his Mandalorian armor from an actual Mandalorian. Like, he's not connected to them in any way. He's just a criminal.
And this is where I disagree with George Lucas. Like, I respect the guy, but there are times that's the one thing that he did that made me angry, legitimately.
Oh, dude, you can't disagree. That's the point. Well, that's not the only point, but that's part of why George made that system. Everyone can be happy.
Yeah, you can have your cake and eat it too, basically. But I'm like, George, why, man? Concept.
It's just in his G canon, dude. It's not. I don't think it's in anything else.
I know, but I like the idea of Django being this honorable bounty hunter mercenary. I've always liked the idea.
I see your point.
But yeah, and also I just like the Mandalorians. Like, I got into Mandalorians through the bounty hunter video game and the comics. So that's why I love the Mandalorians so much. It's because of that comic. Many of the true Mandalorians, Death Watch and the new Mandalorians, can go take a long walk off a short cliff.
Oh, wow. Honestly, to me, this may just be me, but I feel like What am I thinking? Who am I thinking of? Satine's sister. Yeah, I do like her character, but I feel like she gets a lot more praise than she deserves because she does a lot of horrible shit and no one's acknowledging that. People today are just praising her for, working with Ahsoka and the Mandalorian in the show. It's like, are we gonna forget that she was a part of Death Watch and did some pretty horrible shit and ironically caused the state of Mandalore because the shit she did with Darth Maul ultimately caused things to go in that direction?
Yeah. But Satine still sucks for me because like she's the Angela Merkel of Mandalorians.
No. I do like Satine. I do like Satine, but she's an idiot. Like,
Yeah, she is.
she is an idiot. It's like,
Like,
look, I'll give her this. She's a kind-hearted person. She means well, but she's an idiot.
Yeah, I've said it before, I'll say it again. The new Mandalorians are just like a radical group of liberals. Weirdly enough, like there's a political joke in there for me. Like I say, Death Watch is radical conservatives. New Mandalorians are radical liberals, and the true Mandalorians, the best Mandalorian faction, are the moderates.
Look, if the new Mandalorians are liberals and they're the kind of liberals, I think I'll take those liberals over today's current liberals.
Fair point. Yeah, no, like I like the true Mandalorians, the ones who were like the reformists, basically.
Yeah.
Like, plus they were led by Jaster Muriel, who was a badass Mandalorian. Like he killed someone because.
Oh, you go first, man. You go first.
Oh yeah, I think Jaster actually made the Super Commando Codex because he killed someone who was his CO, who I think he did something he found dishonorable, so he murdered him basically.
Yeah. But anyway, I was saying that I know that the Mandalorians are really looked through the T canon and not the. It's like the T canon's connected to the G canon. I know that, and I know that the Mandalorians, when it comes to the G canon, are only seen through the T canon. But it'd be cool for the Mandalorians to appear in any of George's 6 films. I would have liked that, or his sequel trilogy concept, which is a part of the G canon. That would have been cool.
Yeah. Sorry, I had another brain fart. Did you say the Mandalorians would be cool for that?
No, yeah, I think it'd be cool if the Mandalorians made an appearance in the G canon. Like the Mandalorians were in the G canon in terms of the T canon. They were in the Clone Wars show in the T, which is the T canon, and that's connected to the G canon. I know it sounds complicated, but I never saw them in any of the 6 films. So I had to watch shows and read books and play games in order to know who the Mandalorians were, because I never saw them in any of the 6 films. And I don't think they were planning to show up in George's sequel treatments, like his sequel projects. So I said it'd be cool if he appeared in any of them.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I said I think it'd be cool if he appeared in any of that. If they appeared in any of that, that'd be cool.
Yeah, I would just like a game about a Mandalorian bounty hunter. Like, just have it be like you can customize your own Mandalorian, basically. Like, you can make him like make him look like Django, make him look like Jaster, or not Jaster, Din Djarin.
I don't know why, for some reason, people say Din is just, another version of Boba Fett. For some reason, people think that.
He's not. Like, Boba and Django are better characters than him in my. Well, if you're looking at the EU, if you're looking at the canon that they're going with, no, Din is better, unfortunately. But that's because Disney bastardized a character that was badass.
Honestly, I said this before, but I don't know what they were going for with the Book of Boba Fett. It's like, were they going for G canon Boba, who was a criminal and who had some morals and was morally complicated? Who appeared in the Clone Wars show, or are they going for EU Boba, who was a part of the Mandalorians, had a strong code, but they didn't go for either. They tried to blend the two. Like Filoni tried to blend the two, and it just came off as weird.
Unfortunately, and I think the interesting thing was the guy who directed. I think his name is Rodriguez. He actually said he wanted to make Boba like a barbarian, basically like Boba the Barbarian, I guess.
Yeah, that's Robert Rodriguez, right?
Yeah, I actually thought that sounded cool. I should know if it sounded
He made the best films in all of human history, Spy Kids, and the crown jewel of films in general, Shark Boy and Lava Girl. Like that is peak cinema.
oh God, you are killing me.
Yeah. Oh, dude, you may disagree with me, Nathan. I actually like those movies. They're bad movies, but I like them.
I liked them as a kid. I grew out of them.
Oh.
But I'm like, you're like that kid from Remember the Times. You're killing me.
Wow, dude. No, but here's the thing, dude, is that if I remember correctly, what there are some values about Robert Rodriguez. He's a self-made filmmaker. He literally builds film productions and films, with the little that he has. You could say it's cheap. But it's impressive the dedication he puts into making a film with barely anything at his disposal. He does. Yeah, he makes home movies.
Yeah, to those who respond to this, for God's sake. That is all. Anyway, yeah, no, I had no problem with Rodriguez. Like, didn't he direct the episode where Boba kicked ass in Mandalorian season 2?
Yeah, he did. Although, if I remember correctly, EFAP said that episode was horrible.
What?
Yeah, they thought. Yeah, EFAP. They were EFAP. Oh, hey, Bruce, you there? No, yeah, EFAP basically said that they felt the episode with Boba Fett and the Mandalorian was just cheap fan service. Dude, their criticisms are harsher than any I've seen when it comes to Disney Star Wars.
Oh, were they old Star Wars fans?
I kind of think they're just fans of stuff in general, but they're very harsh in their criticisms.
Okay.
Like, okay, here's how they don't give a shit about modern wokeness. They don't give a shit about modern wokeness being a problem. What they give a shit about is just pure consistency. Like, they just look at the project as it is, and they just criticize it on the very flaws that it has built itself. Like, I'm not saying they'll never mention wokeness, but they'll mostly talk about why the films and shows just don't make any sense. It's called objective criticism.
Oh yeah, I remember when that episode came out. I was fanboying the fuck out.
Who wasn't, dude?
I'm sorry, but like I remember this one jerk off hipster. He said after they canceled the Boba Fett canon stuff, he's like, Boba Fett has never done anything really badass or noteworthy. I'm like, who's laughing now, motherfucker? Who's laughing now?
Well, I mean, you got to understand, Nathan, from the perspective of people who haven't read the books, played the games, or watched any TV show, Boba Fett is just some random dude that worked for the Empire.
Yeah, that's actually a common thing that I go back and forth with my brother about. Because he's like, oh, he's just a glorified green stormtrooper. And it's like, no. Like, there's lore about him and why he is significant. The main thing that people talk about Fett is, and this is from Star Wars' end, Star Wars pushes this. His claim to fame is he is the guy that took out Han Solo. He's the guy who captured Han Solo. All right.
I'll give him that.
Now, they tried to build him up more because George Lucas actually knew what he was doing in terms of how to sell the universe. They tried to build him up more with the Star Wars special, with Darth Vader specifically saying to Boba Fett, I see why you're the greatest bounty hunter in the galaxy, or the best bounty hunter in the galaxy. But then Lucas started walking away from the Star Wars special and started saying, we're not going to talk about that. But
honestly, though,
you just pick up a Boba Fett comic.
Yeah.
Prior to Disney, and you should be able to see why Boba Fett's awesome. That should be enough to say, okay, this guy's awesome. And if you're of the mentality,
anyone who says Boba Fett isn't, I'm like, do you want to have your neck ringed? Because that's a surefire way to make me wring your neck.
Boba Fett he's just filled with awesomeness. Like, he just screams awesome. In my opinion.
Like I remember someone did an edit of that scene where it's from Robot Chicken, where he's like, "Back from the dead, assholes."
No,
like Boba Fett. like even in parodies, he's a badass.
No, one of my favorite EU comics is the one where Boba Fett had, I believe Boba Fett had a wife and a kid, but I believe his wife fell in love with another clone, like another clone, one of Django's clones. And there was a story. Yeah, there was a story going on, like a lot of drama. But at the end of the day, if I remember, Boba decided to leave his wife and kid behind with the clone and just continue on his, life of danger. Because I think it's because he didn't want to put them in danger, if I remember.
I don't know, maybe that sounds like him.
If,
Like,
if you know what the comic that is, I would love to read that because that actually sounds interesting.
Oh, really? You never? I figured. I always figured, Bruce, you knew about the EU a lot more than me.
I don't know. I've read so much I forgot. Star Wars. I did a lot of reading way back when. But a lot of my knowledge and insight comes from word of mouth. Talking to people.
Oh, so, wow, okay.
It's like, I used to when I played Star Wars Galaxies back in 2004. It was a lot of people who were big into Star Wars, and one of my D&D players, in fact, his knowledge base is like up to like 2006 ish, a little before that probably actually, but
impressive.
He got out of Star Wars like right after Revenge of the Sith. Basically, he was like, all right, I'm done. Everything that they're coming out with in the EU is trash.
What the hell? Well,
a lot of people, a lot of the older generation got out of Star Wars because of the Yuuzhan Vong War. They thought it was just stupid, and
I heard it was controversial for its time.
Yeah. A lot of people were just like, "What the fuck is this? It's stupid," and wanted nothing to do with it. They wanted to get out of Star Wars because it was just out of left field. It didn't feel like Star Wars. Now
I'll admit this: the Yuuzhan Vong saga reshaped a lot of the EU. That shit caused
I say, you see people today who are Star Wars fans or OG Star Wars fans in quotation. They seem to me like they're just the people left behind that liked the Yuuzhan Vong and stuck it out. They basically said, "I'm going to stay with this because I like Star Wars and I don't mind the Yuuzhan Vong." That's how I'm reading the room temperature, if you will.
I did like the Yuuzhan Vong stories, but to me, it's I wouldn't call them masterful storytelling. I just like the concept. Like, I'll say this. The thing is, personally for me, there's a difference between what makes sense objectively and what you personally like. And you could blend the two. But honestly, it's like the Yuuzhan Vong, it's so muddled up. The story in places, to me, there's some things that just don't make sense to me, but I just like the idea. I like the idea, and I think it's a cool idea. It's a cool what if. But it's not. I don't hate it. I don't think it's a masterpiece. I think Dark Empire or Heir to the Empire are better stories personally, but that's just me.
Yeah, I like to use Avon. I find them creepy. Like, I find the idea of them disturbing.
Does anyone remember? Does anyone remember the Disney Star Wars YouTube videos where theorists would talk about how in the Disney canon universe, Palpatine is prepping for the Yuuzhan Vong? Like he created a failsafe in our new canon.
Well, no, to my understanding, that was actually a part of. Well, no, I'm sorry. That was Thrawn. Thrawn was the one doing that, not the Emperor.
No, but
the EU. Yeah, in the EU, Thrawn was the one doing that, not the Emperor.
Yeah, I know, but like there were a lot of videos in 2015 to 2017 about how Palpatine was preparing for when they'd show up in the Disney canon. Like their theories was that they're going to show up at some point in a Disney StarArs whatever, and whatever Palpatine left behind is what's going to be used to take them down.
Yeah, that actually sounded interesting at the time, but as usual, Disney had to fuck it up.
Yeah, well, Disney's not creative. Disney Star Wars. I shouldn't say Disney's not creative. They came up with some interesting stuff, but Disney Star Wars, it's just there's some interesting concepts, but the execution is horrible.
Yeah, like Disney is like, what's the old saying? Snatching victory from the claws of defeat, or snatching defeat from the claws of victory.
Oh, I'll say this: one of my favorite Disney Star Wars ideas is the idea from the Aftermath books, when word gets out that Leia is that Luke and Leia are the kids of Vader, and this screws over Leia's reputation so bad that it just ruins her image in the New Republic. And the reason why I love that idea is because, yeah, we see Luke redeem Vader, we do. And from the perspective of us, the audience, Vader is a good person deep down. But if we're looking from the logic of the world of Star Wars, not everyone knows the truth about Vader. And honestly, I don't think everyone would agree. I'd argue that the amount of deaths Vader caused would have people in the galaxy to say, no, he's a shitty person. He's a horrible person. He deserves to suffer. And anyone related to him is horrible. I imagine looking at Vader in the Star Wars universe is like, it's like looking at Hitler or Stalin in our world. Like, imagine someone saying that before Stalin's death, they were able to get him to see the good within himself, and they helped him, become a better person. And Stalin wasn't that bad a guy. The amount of rage that person would get. It's kind of funny. She's for the streets. What does that mean? Nathan's back.
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck is wrong with this computer. Maybe it's all the viruses in it.
Hey, do you know what Cat said?
I think I know what you're talking about, but please reiterate.
No, Cat said she's for the streets. I don't know what Cat's referring to.
I think he's referring to this, which I'm laughing at still.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
Yep, I'm guessing that's actually, no, never mind. But yeah, so what were you saying before I got kicked out again because of the stupid internet?
No, I'm saying I like the implications with. I'll say this: I will give the Disney Star Wars canon this. I like the concept that Luke and Leia being Vader's kids is instantly controversial. It's like, we're the audience. So from our perspective, like Vader was Anakin. He's a good person deep down. But from the perspective of the characters in the Star Wars universe, he's a dictator. He's a horrible person. He committed lots of genocide with the Emperor and the Empire. So it's like, from their perspective, it makes sense why Leia's career in politics would be ruined based off that information getting out. I think it's a clever idea, but I feel like the execution was off. I think it could have been done better.
Yeah. Just 1 second, I have to get the charger for my computer. It's dying.
Oh yeah, sure, man. Yeah, take all the time.
Dying like an Amy Schumer comedy special.
Oh no, that's already dead. That's been dead. I don't know. I don't remember if Luke and Leia's origin or heritage got out in the EU, or if that was a secret. I don't remember.
I'm going with they kept it a secret. That's my canon.
Maybe they did, but I just don't remember. Like if the galaxy ever found out that fact in the EU, they could have, or maybe they didn't. But I don't know. Oh, and Bruce, I'm glad you joined, man.
Yep, excuse me. I'm eating and writing.
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah, probably should have invited Nazo, but I didn't know if he'd be available.
Did did Bruce say he was at a meeting?
I think he said he was eating and riding.
Eating and writing, yeah. I can invite Nazo, dude. Let me invite him too.
All right.
Honestly, in my opinion, we need more people.
Yeah, it's true. If I'm alone with you, it usually goes dead quiet.
Yeah, it kind of does.
For some reason, that sound reminds me of ODST, the game.
I have no idea what that is.
Halo Odyssey.
Wow.
Oh my god, you're killing me.
Yeah, like I said, I'm not very knowledgeable on Halo. I have a brother and I have a stepbrother and a father who know they're Halo fans. They play the game like they constantly play the game all the time. I'm not a whiz on Halo.
Now I know how Keegan feels.
Wow, dude.
Yeah,
I know.
I now know Keegan's pain. I now know how he feels. It sucks.
How about my pain, asshole, with the fact that you don't know about Goodfellas or The Irishman? That's insulting.
I'm gonna read Goodfellas. I'm gonna watch Goodfellas at some point. Dang it! You just have to give me time.
Whatever. No, but I know.
I'm back. Sorry.
Oh, okay, cool. I know about Master Chief, Nathan, because my friends would never shut up about him. So I know about that character, but I'm not a Halo whiz. So if you ask me questions, I can't answer you.
All right, never mind then.
My only experiences with Halo is that I played the game and I would constantly die. I suck at Halo.
Wow. Yeah, I've only
played
Halo 1.
You have to say it like Stewie. You suck.
Oh, dude, I'm not good at video games. It's a guarantee most of the games I play, I'll die or lose.
Gilmore! You suck, you jackass!
Damn it. Oh man, I can't win today.
You're killing me. You are killing me.
Well, to be fair, dude, I stopped playing video games in 8th grade because middle school gave me a shit ton of homework. I carried 6 textbooks from the school to my house, and my back would hurt. I didn't have the time for games.
I played video games through middle school and high school with all the homework they gave me, and I still had time for video games. No excuse.
Dude, if you're doing seven homework assignments after having to stay for after school, to do even more work, and you can't even do your homework. No, they won't allow you to do your homework. They're trying to teach you about the SATs. So they're trying to teach you about the SATs after school, which means you got to stay till 6 o'clock, and then you can't even. Yeah, you got to stay till 6 o'clock, and then you can't do your homework till you get home, which is an hour. So what? 7 or 8 o'clock? I have to do 7 homework assignments. Yeah, I don't have time for video. I didn't have time for video games.
Okay, never mind. You have an excuse. You have the excuse.
The last video game I ever played was Lego Batman 3.
I never played that. I probably is Red Hood in
it? Actually, if you get a DLC, all the characters are in it. Like that game. You get all eras of DC and all eras of Batman. Hell, there's a level for a DLC where you get to play the chase scene in the Dark Knight.
Huh. Didn't know that.
Dude, Lego Batman 3 is awesome.
I remember they made a Lego Batman movie.
Yeah, they did. It was based off Lego Batman 2.
Anyway, what was I saying? Oh yeah. Actually, no, I had no idea what I was going to say. Oh yeah. Wait, did you at least play Star Wars video games?
Oh yeah, I played a lot of Star Wars video games. Star Wars: The Force Unleashed, Jedi Academy, 2 of my favorites.
Okay, good. That's a relief.
My brother really liked Jedi Academy. I thought it was
Never
okay.
played
Jedi Academy is fantastic.
Oh,
For a long time, I was playing Jedi Outcast because that's a fantastic game too. But when I finally got around to Jedi Academy, that game is an improvement. Like that's how video games used to be. Like you progress forward into a better game, not this like Call of Duty, Halo. What's another game? Arkham games are an example. It's like the game gets progressively worse, with the exception of Asylum into City.
I liked the Arkham games, but I will agree with Bruce. They did get worse. I think the game, in my personal opinion, this is just my opinion. I'm not saying anything objective. I personally feel like the game should have stopped after Joker's death. But that's just how I feel.
Maybe that would have made sense, but then again, these are corporations; they rarely make sense.
No, I'm not saying you can't make a good sequel game after that. I'm just saying I personally feel like the moment Joker dies, that should have been the last game.
I
don't agree with that.
Like I said, it's just my opinion.
I just wish they would have just stopped with the freaking Joker. All 4 games center around the goddamn Joker. Okay, even Arkham Knight. Now you're like, oh, not Arkham Knight. Yes, even in Arkham Knight, it all came back to the fucking Joker. And it's like, for the love of God, you guys have a goddamn fetish for this character for some goddamn reason, and it's beyond me to understand.
I honestly think the Joker is just not just is he Batman's other half, his dual half, but it's also the fact that the Joker is Batman's most popular villain.
Popular, yes, he's probably the most popular.
Yeah,
but I hate that idea that he is the other half of Batman. It's like every Batman's villain is the other half of Batman. Like all of them.
Yeah.
Pick one. Throw a dart at a board filled with all of the villains, and hey, how is this person the anti-Batman? And it's like, well, in all of these ways. Huh. Funny how that works.
I wonder how you can connect Batman with Poison Ivy.
Well, Poison Ivy is an interesting one. She is the philanthropic side of Batman. His genuine nature to do good and help society. She is in that same boat of, I want to do good. I want to help society. But her solution is completely wrong. Her solution is, okay, all we got to do is just cut out 90% of what people do and turn them into animals. And if they're animals, everything's good and dandy. And Batman's like, I get what you're saying. Pollution is bad. Poisoning your environment is bad. What's it called? Exploiting the natural resources of your environment, bad. Killing animals, bad. But there's a way you can go about and do all of these things that you want to do that don't involve killing humans too. And that's what she represents. She represents the philanthropic side of Batman, the altruistic side of Batman. From her perspective, she is doing a good thing. She's helping the world, but she's taking it too far.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, like Killer Croc is made with Batman.
I was wondering.
Killer Croc is an anti-Batman in 2 ways. One, he's a murderer. Every murderer, the opposite of a murderer is a detective. The detective solves it. The murderer creates it. So they're immediately opposed in that way. But the other side that Killer Croc represents is Batman's primal nature, his desire to be very instinctive. So when you hit Batman, he gets angry. When you do something that makes Batman angry, Croc is the same way. Croc can get easily pissed off. He's very primal. He can easily fall in love. He can easily look at, oh, I can get away with this thing, so I'm going to do it. Where Batman takes the hard way. Croc takes the easy way. Batman takes the hard way. Batman says, I could do this thing, but it's too easy. I can't do it that way. Like, that's not the right.
Yeah, also, I don't think it's just that that's peak consumer culture. I think it's the problem is also with video games. It's just they don't do anything innovative. It's just like it looks pretty. I think that's also a problem with it.
Does anyone like the idea of a video game having multiple endings? I do. I think it's an interesting
I've
idea.
gotten sick of it. I've gotten sick of it.
Yeah.
I think that's fine as long as you do it like Deus Ex Human Revolution did, where it's like you can save it and you can find out what all the alternate endings are. I don't like Payday 2's way of doing it, where there's the ending and you do the story and you're like, okay, here's the ending. But then they're like, oh, if you jump through if you jump through 20 to 30 gauntlets of trivial little tasks and little hints and clues and things like that all over the place, you can find the secret ending. That I don't like. I fucking hate that. Like, and it's painful for me to say that because I love Payday, but to have like an entire series of events, of little tiny things that some autistic person spent hours to figure out how exactly to do the sequence of things that have to be done in the game to unlock the secret ending is just dumb to me. Like, hats off to your autism. You put it to good use, I guess. But from like a video game standpoint, or from like a, hey, I want to include all my loyal friends or fans and everyone who loves my content. I'm going to put this little like hardcore puzzle in the entire thing that is so meticulously stupid, you have to follow it step by step. I mean, I don't know if any of you guys know about the secret ending to Payday, but if you look it up, there's like a 15-minute video about everything you have to do. And the 15-minute video doesn't include the, I think it's like 200 hours might be excessive, but it's like from start to finish, it's like a 30-hour or 36-hour objective, like to 36-hour objective to complete it, I think. And that assumes you did everything necessary to do it from start to finish. Like, you have to have all the prerequisites and everything. It's insane. It's absolutely insane.
Yeah, I wasn't aware Cyberpunk got an anime. I didn't know that till today.
Oh yeah, you didn't know? It did get an anime. It had a Netflix. You never, dude. I'm not even a Cyberpunk fan. I've never even played the games, and I know about this, but you. That's sad, man.
Okay, Cyberpunk kind of pissed me off with all the problems it had. So anything that involved it, I ignored. Plus, like, all the journalists were pissing about it, so I defended it every chance I had.
Nathan, honestly, what doesn't piss you off?
Fair point.
Yeah, I'm messing with you, man. I'm not being serious.
I know it's a fair point, though. Like, if anyone ever asked me what makes you happy, it'd be easier to name the things that don't make me happy.
Oh, okay. So we could just easily deduce that anything else outside of that makes you happy.
I would think things that make me happy: redheads, Coca-Cola, crawfish, fantasy, Star Wars.
You have to go down the list, Nathan.
Well, you asked.
Dude, you'll be on that shit for hours.
Yeah, it'd probably be easier to say the people. It'd be like asking, is there anyone you don't hate? I'd be like, I have a shit list of people I hate. Like, I have a literal list in my desk drawer. Huh?
Wait, you have an action? Oh, my God.
I have it written down in my desk drawer.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. Oh, dude, Elon Musk did a tweet. He said Tolkien is turning in his grave. Wow.
Probably is.
Honestly, the way they disrespected Tolkien, like Tolkien, he's not just a creator of great works. The dude was a professor. It's like there's a level of respect. People call his books the Bibles of fantasy. It's like the fact that, you would just, disrespect this man the way you did with modern wokeness. It's very sad.
Okay, said shit list is ready. Jerry Conway, Obama, Eminem, Kevin Smith, Mike Pence, Jake Paul, Bill Clinton, Hillary Clinton, LeBron James, George Takei, Matt Jarbo, Jackie Chan, Joe Budden, Kamala Harris, Seth Rogen, Mark Hamill, Anita Sarkeesian, Zoe Quinn, Brianna Wu, Susan Wojcicki, or as I like to call her, Susan Canadian name, Rick Remender, J.J. Abrams or Jar Jar Abrams, Ryan Johnson, Kathleen Kennedy, Bob Iger, Brian Michael Bendis, George W. Bush, George R. R. Martin, Leslie Jones, Vince McMahon, Dave Filoni, Mike, can't pronounce the name, Bob Chapek. Okay, and then I'm going into fictional people. Actually, I'm going to stop there. I don't want to piss you people off anymore. It's a
Dude,
long
how
list.
long is this list?
3 pages.
Nathan, are you a dwarf by chance?
No, but yeah, it's 3 pages.
Okay, well, I'll admit that's better than I envisioned. I thought you'd have a list that's like the length of a house.
So
No.
what you need to do with your list is you need to apply a dollar amount or gold amount, I don't care which. Apply a monetary value to each of their names. And basically, if they pay you that amount, your grudge will be settled with them and you won't have any more of an issue with them.
Oh no, and I didn't get to the fictional characters that are on my shit list.
Dude, I'd recommend you don't.
But like I said, all right, so you can still put a monetary value to them, because what can happen is someone else can pay for them. And like I said, then what would happen is they pay you or you get paid, however you get paid, right? You get paid, and then you scratch their name out of your book of grudges, and everything would be good. And then your transformation to being a dwarf would be complete.
Wow.
Fuck you.
Listen, man, you gotta know how to grift like a dwarf. They know how to grift.
I'm not a dwarf. I'm 6 something tall.
Oh,
Okay,
damn,
so you're a Marvel dwarf. That's fine.
Oh, damn, you're taller than me.
Yeah, I think 6'6".
Oh, wow. Lucky
You're
you,
taller,
man.
you're taller than me.
Yeah, I'm a
I'm
Nephilim,
6'2".
basically.
Oh, damn, Bruce, you're taller than me too. Oh no.
How tall is he?
6.
I'm 5. Oh, I'm 5.
Oh.
He's 6'2". I'm 5'9".
Wow. So I'm not only
You're
the
short,
tallest
man.
person,
Drink some milk.
Oh man.
so I'm not only the tallest person in the room, but also the oldest. Wow.
Well, you don't know how old Bruce is, and so you can't say you're the oldest. You don't know that.
Oh, for God's sake, Cat.
Oh wow. Oh wow. That's hilarious.
I'm not a tree, dang it.
You're gonna go down like one. Someone climbs you.
Damn it. But yeah. No, I also have a shit list of fictional characters.
Do you really want to go down that list, Nathan?
Yes.
My
Mine, right now.
My only question is Shinji Ikari on that list?
Who's Shinji Ikari?
I'm done with this kid.
Let me see. Mine,
That's a
right
name.
now. Yennefer Vingenberg, Uncle Polly, Elijah Michelson, Rebecca Michelson, most of the Vampire Diaries cast, Bronca, Isolde, Aveline, Harry Potter, Nightwing.
Harry Potter? You hate the main character of Harry Potter?
That reaction. Okay, I'm not even gonna read it. I'm not even gonna read the list. No, that was worth it.
Dude, like, I'm not saying you have to like Harry Potter, but you hate Harry. Like, what did Harry do? He's actually a fairly nice main character, and that's saying something.
Griffith, Sonya Blade, Ray Palpatine, Johnny Cage, Jax, Taron Logan.
Wait, you hate Johnny Cage? Okay, I'm just gonna stop talking.
Batwoman, Tila. Yeah,
Hey,
yeah.
Nathan, I have a question. Do you know about Batwoman before Kate Kane?
She used to not like Slash.
You talking to me?
No, not you, Bruce. Nathan. Nathan, do you know Batwoman before Kate Kane?
I think I heard before that she liked to slurp Slash. Beyond that, I don't know anything.
Oh, Nathan, I recommend you research Batwoman as a whole as a character before you put her down on your list.
Oh no, I'm talking like the TV show Batwoman is on the list, not the actual character from the comics. The comic character I don't give a shit about.
Oh, wow.
I used to hate her guts. Now I don't.
Oh, well, the version of the character in the comics you hate, is that Kate Kane or Kathy Kane? Because there's a difference.
Probably Kate Kane.
Oh, well, dude, I was going to say, check out Kathy Kane's Batwoman. You might like that version of the character.
Yeah, no thanks.
Yeah, Betty Kane is a lot better.
Okay. Yeah, I just know at one point she was straight, and then they made her gay.
Yeah, Betty Kane was the OG Batwoman, and then I'm drawing a blank on who the writer is, but his agenda was he wanted to make Batman gay. DC Comics wouldn't let him, so he wanted, because Batman is Marvel or DC's like #1 selling comic. It gets the most readers. So what they were trying to do is hitch that wagon to LGB people and grift off of them. And so they were like, okay, well, they're not going to let me make Batman gay. So what I'll do is I'll make Batwoman gay. And they were like, okay, that's fine. No one gives a shit. That basically, their idea is if they make Batman gay and that completely tanks DC Comics flagship, they're not coming back. But if they do someone close to Batman and experiment with it, and if it takes off, cool. If it fails, it's okay. It's not that big of a deal. And sure enough, the character, the concept, her outfit, what she looked like, was good. It looked awesome. It's everything else that sucked. So basically, all she had going for her was the art. And that's because the guy went into writing a Batwoman story with the entire premise of he wanted gay Batman, not I want to tell a story.
Okay, well, that explains Seduction of the Innocent.
Yeah. One more thing also, Tolkien represented South America. Africa. Here's something funny. A lot of famous people from South Africa, for some reason, they leave. Can't imagine why.
No, it's that thing about Batman is that, I don't know, maybe you could call me progressive. I don't know. I'm not progressive. I'm not anything. I'm not any of these labels. I don't mind a gay Batman. I don't really care. I don't mind if there's a version out there that's gay. What I do mind is if the character is misrepresented. So if you're going to sacrifice Batman's core principles, his morality, his reason for being Batman on the concept that he's gay, I'm going to say, well, you ruined the character. It's like, regardless of if Batman's straight or gay or whatever, it's the fact that if you're going to sacrifice who Batman is just to make a gay version of the character, I'm going to say you're ruining the character.
Okay, well, if we're talking about now I need to change something.
You don't have to change anything, man. Oh, I guess. Okay. Okay.
For posterity
No,
and all that.
So it's like, I prefer Batman as he is, but if you want to make a quote-unquote gay version of Batman, at least don't change his morals, don't change his personality. I'll say that.
Agree. That's basically the gist of it is, and that's part of what they did with Kate Kane is they centered everything about her around the fact that she's gay. They didn't make it about the trauma she suffered, how she was nearly either robbed or raped, however you want to interpret that encounter. I'm drawing a blank. I don't remember if it was actually like implied rape, but instead of centering her story around that, they centered it around, oh, she's Batman but gay. so that's why people only know her for the fact of she's gay, because they hitch their wagon to the gay aspect and not to she is a crime fighter. That's why, like if you've seen the Catwoman movie that came out,
with Halle Berry.
No, the animated one.
Oh, okay.
Like a year ago or so.
Yeah.
What's it called? They pick these voice actresses for Batwoman that make her like this husky, deep, masculine sounding woman, and it's like if women find that attractive, I guess, but the entire time I'm cringing through this movie, I'm making fun of her voice because it's just so insufferable.
I'm sorry, Bruce, but if you want a lesbian female character that sounds like a girl, well, you got to go back to the early 2000s, friend.
Right. Right. See, this is why I say lesbians don't exist, because if you're looking for like a deep, husky voiced woman, you're attracted to a man. I'm sorry, you're attracted to a man. All right, and I'm about to go off.
Oh
Man,
no!
just like that, I got them monetized, and then I don't even know how they somehow get monetized.
Nathan, quick, cover your ears.
Yeah, right. So it's stupid. It's stupid. Like if you're gay and a woman, or you're gay and a man, you're into the same sex, right? Like I think this is basic. It's kind of how we define those things. If you're into both, then you're bi. That's how we define these things, right? Right.
Yeah, apparently.
So if you're into a woman with male traits, then you're into men. If you're into a man with feminine traits, then you're into women. Now, I get that this is controversial. So my point would be, what's the difference? What are you attracted in with these genders, right? Like if you're into chicks, you should like the chick for being a chick. If you're into dudes, you should be into dudes for being dudes. And then if you're into the whole cross-dressing thing, then okay, fine. That's fine to have your weird fetish, right? Everyone has their weird fetishes, even me. I have plenty of weird fetishes. You don't want to know about them. But it's like
same here. I'm pretty vocal about my fetish though. Redheads.
Nathan, yes, you've established that.
That's everyone's fetish. Well, except for Hollywood. Hollywood absolutely hates redheads.
Yeah.
They blackwash them for a reason.
Right.
Oh.
So, it's like it's very simple. And if you were to make Batman gay, okay, and just roll with it. Just roll with it. And just do a Batman story. Except for, all right, instead of Julie, he's going to go date Julie. He's out with Gary.
Justin?
Yeah, Justin. He's out with Justin. All right. And you might get you could insert it perfectly. That Bruce Wayne guy, he's a weird fellow. And then someone's like, yeah, he's he's queer, right? It's like, that explains it, right? And Bruce doesn't care. There's that one meme where Robin says he's telling people that Batman's gay or Bruce Wayne is gay, and Batman's like, "Why are you telling people that he's gay?" And Robin's like, "I think it's a great cover because like if it's on the down low, people are gonna be able to say, oh, that's why Bruce is the way he is. That's why he's kind of weird." And Batman thinks about it, and he's like, "That's a good idea. All right, Bruce Wayne is gay." Like it's perfect.
Didn't they recently make Batman bisexual in a DC young adult novel or something?
I don't know. I don't follow it too much. The last gayest thing I'd seen with Batman was in I think a Batwoman comic. He had introduced Batwoman to a transgender doctor that he had paid for them to get their surgery and shit.
Oh.
And the way Batman and the tranny are looking at each other, it's like, did they bone? I think they boned. I'm pretty sure they boned.
I'm not questioning that.
Yeah, I like I said, if you look it up, okay, if you look up like a Batman transgender doctor, or helps person transition or something like that, you can see the doctor, and the doctor has like this really like sweet on Batman look. Like, I like this guy. Like no one looks at Batman that way. This person looked at Batman that way. Like you know how Barbara Gordon looks at Batman like that. And
Right.
It's like, that has a certain glow about them. You know, like I don't know. Now the artist might be trying to depict it as like, oh, they're very grateful that Batman turned their life around and you know, helped them transition and gave them purpose and made them feel whole. Like I don't know, but I'm just saying that look is, yeah, we boned and it was great. That's the look they had.
I tell you, I'm gonna need a drink after this.
I wish I had Coke right now. Coca-Cola.
Honestly, I got Pepsi, but I'm nowhere near you. If I was a master of the mystic arts, Nathan, I'd open a portal and say, "Here you go." Just throw the Pepsi at your head.
And you'd have Dr.
I don't drink, Bruce, but you made me want to try bourbon with this conversation.
Oh, I'm sorry. What did you say, Bruce?
I'd say then Dr. Fate comes out of nowhere and smacks you with a bolt, saying, "Stop doing that with magic."
I could see that happening.
Or Doctor Strange. Take your pick.
No, I'd say Dr. Fate because, you know, Doctor Strange is a man. Dr. Fate's a god.
Well, it depends on like what universe you want to be.
In case you're wondering, I'm referring to the helmet, not the user.
Yeah, I'm referring to the whole package.
The whole pack. Yeah, you're referring. Yeah, you are. Yeah.
Yeah, the user is okay. The helmet is an asshole.
Dude, I mean, look.
Helmet has to be.
The helmet is like anyone. I'll say this, Nathan. Anyone that chooses to become Dr. Fate is making a noble sacrifice. They're basically saying, I'm willing to sacrifice my body and mind to keep the universe in order. I don't know. There's something heroic about that.
Yeah, it is outright heroic.
This is why I like this one thing I like about Young Justice is Zatanna. Like, she's like, okay, I don't want my dad to be another victim of Dr. Fate and that helmet, but because I can't spend time with my father that much because he's another, you know, user. He's another vessel for Fate, and she's not happy about it. But it's like I like that internal struggle. It's like she doesn't want her father to be a slave to Fate, but he's helping, you know, keep the world safe. So it's like it's a very interesting aspect of that show.
Okay, I'm back.
Hey, dude.
Yeah, I had to check my tooth. I thought the cap fell off again.
The cap?
Yeah, I had a cap that's fallen off twice. I had to get another one. And I keep messing with it with my phone.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, anyway. So, Bruce, I don't drink, but this conversation with you has made me want to try bourbon now.
Oh, no.
Awesome. Bourbon, definitely. Watch Ricada streams and find out which bourbons are good, because I'm not an alcoholic drinker.
Yeah.
I actually sin against Ricada. I have Jack Daniels. That's what I like. Again, I am like basic bitch level of drinking. I have bourbon whiskey, I think, because my brother got it for me for Christmas one year. I haven't opened it, but I have it.
Oh, but Nathan, if you really want to understand the Star Wars multiverse, I recommend you read the Infinites comics.
Wait, read what?
The Infinite comics, the ones that show different, you know, what if scenarios for the OT. I wish they made one for the prequel trilogy too. That'd be cool.
Who wants your burger? Okay. Yeah, I'm not check that out. Yeah, for some reason, every time I read someone who drinks, I always pick bourbon. I have no idea why. What? Don't
And
judge
dude,
me.
I'm not judging you. I
I'm
I
talking to
am
my
one of
sister.
the. Oh, okay, never
I'm talking to
mind.
my sister.
Oh, yeah,
If
sisters
she's
do
in the room.
judge people. That does make sense, actually.
See? What do you have against? I don't even drink bourbon, so why are you lecturing me?
About bourbon.
Oh, well,
There's,
yeah. For some
there's
reason, yeah. That's the only alcohol I can actually name. The rest of them I can't name. Bourbon's the
oh,
only one I remember.
there's something about burb and in that just make bourbon horrible. That's a joke.
Wait a minute, hang on. Let me go back to something Kat just said. Why hasn't a homunculus been made for fate? Okay, I hope you're joking, Kat, because if I'm understanding this right, I think they have.
Mm. Actually, one of the cooler concepts of the DC Marvel crossover was Doctor Strange Fate, where Doctor Fate and Doctor Strange become one in the Amalgam universe. That
Huh.
was a cool idea.
Oh, well, 2 hours are up. I guess Nazo's not coming.
No, I think Nazo's doing something. He didn't message me back, but I think he's doing something.
That's fine. That's fine. Anyway, yeah, like, would it be weird to say I want to make a character who drinks Jack Daniels and bourbon at once?
Wouldn't that kill them?
That would kill someone?
I said, wouldn't it? I don't know. I'm not an alcohol expert, but I heard if you
I-
drink too much.
I don't think that would. I don't think it works that way.
Oh, okay.
You're. I think what you might be confusing is liquor and beer.
Ah,
Both
Oh, yeah, I don't have to drink
Daniels
beer. I never had to
and
drink
bourbon are whiskeys, so you'd be getting two different flavors and two different potencies that you might be getting, but I don't think there would be anything necessarily wrong with it, other than, yeah, I mean, if you go to a bar, if you go out with anyone who goes drinking, they will, if they're experienced, they can give you like an entire battery, if you will, of drinks to have in a certain session or succession that you can, get intoxicated or buzzed and enjoy. But a lot of it comes down to how alcohol tolerant you are.
mm.
Uh,
Yeah,
If you're a
okay.
bigger guy, you typically have a higher alcohol tolerance than smaller guys.
okay, yeah, because I was actually asking this around yesterday while I was writing the story. Like, I took some advice from Dan about a detective story I'm working on to make it first person. And I was asking, yeah, how many shots of bourbon can you take before you can't drive?
It heavily depends on. Wait, how old are you?
I wouldn't
29.
even.
You're what?
29.
Oh,
29.
I'm older than you. And how do you not know this? It heavily depends on your body mass. Heavily.
I never learned that stuff. I forgot it if anyone ever taught me.
Why would you do that, dude? Why? I'm not saying you are gonna do it, but dude, just the idea. Drinking
The
and
idea of
driving.
what? I would not
Drinking and
drink and drive. I don't.
I
don't even drive.
protest.
No, he's talking about his character. He's talking about his character in the first person,
I know.
drinking and getting intoxicated. And
I know.
Yeah.
Just the
He has
You
to
might
drive
think that
somewhere
it's
after he has
wrong.
3 shots. After he has 3 shots, he has to drive somewhere. I want to make sure he won't crash while driving.
Yeah, it's not inherently wrong to say, okay, drinking and driving, right? It depends on the person, because some people, I have this one buddy, he's like 6'5", 6'6", and like 250, 270 pounds. He can drink like a whole bottle of whiskey and not even get buzzed. Like he'll drink like a whole bottle and say, okay, now that I have a whole bottle in me, now everything after is going to start. I'm going to start feeling it, and that's just because he's such a big guy that there's a lot of mass for the alcohol to pollute and dilute his blood.
My guy's like
Really the
average
right
height
term.
and weight, so I didn't know how it would affect them. Like, he's average weight, basically. Like, he looks skinny. He's average height. He's a PI, basically.
Yeah, if you're well, it depends on what type of like PI character. Like, is he a physically fit PI, or is he like out of shape PI? Like, you have your shades of PI, right? Like, you have like your Jessica Jones, you have your The Question, and then you have
Sherlock.
Yeah, Sherlock.
He's physically fit. Like, he's fit. He runs around a lot.
Oh, then maybe more based off The Question.
So yeah, depending on what their physical stature is, they can take on however much alcohol. It also depends on what they eat. I'm a very skinny guy, and when I went out with my buddies for the first time to drink at a club, I blew them all away with how well I handled the alcohol. I had like a Long Island iced tea. I had a glass, an entire glass of whiskey, and then I had I forget what the other drink was, some weird mixed fruity drink, and I wasn't even buzzed. I just completely, well, no, I think I was a little bit buzzed. But I tanked it completely, and they were like, "What the heck, dude? Like, you're the skinniest of us all, and you just completely are normal." And I was like, "Well, I'm a little bit buzzed, but I knew what I was doing. Before I went out, I had pizza, so the pizza is just soaking it up in my stomach." And
what if he has food and alcohol at the same time? Would that affect them?
It depends. If you have them at the same time, depending on what the food is. The key thing is breads. Breads act as sponges, so they soak up the food or the drink or the beverage, the liquid, and when you go to digest it, it slowly breaks it down in your body. Whereas if your body begins to digest it just straight up and pure, like it goes right into your liver or into your intestines and just starts immediately releasing it into your body, then you're going to get drunk and intoxicated faster. And again, it depends on the potency of the alcohol. It depends. If you get more into the science of it, it also depends on how efficient your body is at absorbing things. How much vitamin B. I think B is the one that helps you absorb nutrients. So it depends on how efficient your body is at absorbing that. If you're fat, your body actually struggles to process things and actually it slows down the entire process. So that's another thing that makes it so that fat people are a lot more tolerant of alcohol.
Oh, damn, we had Nazo, then we lost him.
Wait, Nazo was here?
Yeah. Oh, here he is again.
Yeah. Hey, buddy.
Paging Dr. Deveronian. Dr. Deveronian.
Dr. Deveronian, really?
What?
Oh, Nathan, I know you're a fan of history, but you're also a fan of comedy, right?
Yeah.
You should check out Hysteria. It was done by the same people who worked on Animaniacs, and man, they have a really funny outlook on history with the show.
Oh, Hysteria is great.
Yeah.
I actually got the DVD for that because.
Oh, you do? I think they only made 2 seasons.
Yeah. It's all in like one DVD. Or not in one DVD, but one DVD box set. And I got it for my niece and nephew, just so something that we can watch together. And
you did?
As a guy who likes history, it's pretty inaccurate. It's a good bit inaccurate on a lot of things.
I just think the show's funny with how they exaggerate history.
Yes, and that's what you gotta take it as. It's a lot of exaggerations.
Dude, it's like as someone personally, like me personally, I'm a fan of Groucho Marx. I'm a fan of his type of comedy. So when they took Karl Marx and they fused him with Groucho Marx, I'm like, what the fuck are you guys on? Like, what the hell is this?
Yeah,
idea.
I had fond memories growing up watching it, and then when I had watched it, I hadn't seen it now in over a year, I think. But when I was rewatching it, the part that made me like laugh and say, "Okay, this is not historically accurate. It's basically just for the memes." Is when they brought up the Swedish, and they had this one Swede guy dancing across the screen going yodele hee hoo. Like, the Swedes, like, and I'm like, you know, as a kid growing up, that was my impression of the Swedish people, other than the ones that I'd met online. It was like, wow, historically, Swedes are just a bunch of pussies. And then it's like, watch Hysteria, and it's like, oh yeah, they're just a bunch of pussies. But then you grow up and you learn about history, and you're like, these are the people that George Washington admired in terms of how freaking savage they were. Like, that's great. Now, I don't know whether
my friends,
but
my friends back in middle school always would say like the Italians and Germans are like goofy people, like you shouldn't take them seriously. And then I learn about history, and I'm like, guys,
Hey guys, Nas is hearing us. So y'all got any recommendations?
I don't know what to do, man.
He can't hear us.
I guess we could unmute him. Oh wait, no, only he can.
His microphone is muted. That's first.
Yeah. I think that's an issue on his end.
Ah, crap. I feel like having him on.
I would say the first step would be make sure his browser is opened in administrator mode.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and erase your browsing history also.
And also, you want to make sure your browser has the authorization to use StreamYard.
Oh. Actually, honestly, the funniest part of Hysteria now is going on YouTube and looking up Hysteria clips, and in the YouTube comment section, you have all these modern communists saying this is a peak example of American liberalism, insulting the greatness of history, lying to the masses. Like, oh my god!
All right,
they're getting pissed over a
right,
90s.
I'm gonna call you out here, my guy.
Yeah, an old 90s cartoon.
I'm gonna call you out here now. All right, here you are bringing up politics. Why do you always talk about politics when I'm around?
Dude, I don't always talk about politics when you're around. I'm just saying I thought that was funny. That's hilarious. Like, no matter what Hysteria clip on YouTube I go to, I always find that. It's so weird.
I want history comedy. I just go to History of the World Part 1.
History of the World?
Yeah, Part 1 by Mel Brooks.
Besides, Bruce, dude, I tried with you, dude. I brought up all sorts of topics, and somehow in conversations with you, they always land back on politics. I think I even tried to bring up SpongeBob, and that led nowhere but to fucking politics.
Oh yeah, I don't
give up.
I don't. So like that.
I give up, damn it.
You know, to me, the two major things that I like mainstream franchises, Star Wars and Batman. And you could probably expand Batman and say DC Comics, but
I agree. Those are my two most favorite things, Batman and Star Wars. Like, I like those two things more than anything else.
Yeah, exactly. Same here.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, is there a Bruce Wayne in Star Wars? I'm kind of curious.
You mean like a Bruce Wayne-like character?
Yeah, basically someone who's like Bruce Wayne in Star Wars.
The closest thing you can get is an amalgamation of two characters. Lando, who's like Bruce Wayne, and Boba Fett, who's like Batman.
I guess.
I mean, Boba Fett is more, not necessarily like, he's like Batman, but like Batman and the Punisher combined. That's more of how I would articulate Boba Fett.
I always looked at him as like being like Goblin Slayer.
Oh, Nathan, Nazo's having a connection issue.
Yeah, I saw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I assume when he's at work, his connection's bad.
Oh, he's at work. Oh, yeah. I wouldn't have bothered him if I knew he was at work.
He says my connection at work is garbage.
Damn, that's a shame. Yeah, like Boba Fett kind of reminds me of Goblin Slayer because Goblin Slayer never wants to take his helmet off. Same with Boba Fett.
Well, that's surface level, right? Like that's not going into methodology. That's not going into their personality and what their goals are. You know, what their aspirations are. Boba Fett's aspirations are very, very simple.
Yeah, but they're both brutal.
They're both
both
what?
Brutal.
Oh yeah, I guess you
Well,
could say that.
See, the thing about Boba Fett, his brutality, it's overstated, but not and kind of understated. He's not brutal because he enjoys it. He's brutal because time is money, and his, like I said, he has one value, one goal, and that's to make money. And so time is money. If you can efficiently dispatch someone with a blaster bolt to the chest, then that's fine. If you can't, then okay, any other means. So, okay, I'm going to grab this axe and chop their head off, right? Like, that's how Boba Fett operates. It's how can I get this job done so that I can cash it in and go get another job to make more money.
I thought he was making a name for himself, basically. Like, I always figured he was trying to emulate his dad. Like, his dad was the most sad, brutal bounty hunter the world ever, most ruthless bounty hunter the galaxy ever knew. So I always figured that Boba was trying to emulate that.
Yeah.
Oh, Nazo,
I don't
were
think
you?
that's his goal at all? He does. I don't. As far as I understand, he doesn't care. His name matters and his reputation matters because that's how he makes money.
Oh, Nazo, are you
For
referring
money,
to
have a
Dangar?
notoriable name.
Like, is Nazo referring to Dangar? Because it says danger.
Yeah, it says dang, it meant Dangar. Hey, Fett, how come you never show your face? Boba Fett, this is my face.
Something chilling about that shit.
Well, right. That's exactly. That's why I say he's like Batman.
Yeah.
Because the one thing with Batman, it's like, oh, Mr. Wayne, you forgot your mask. He's like, I haven't.
Hey, what does Rorschach say when the police grab off his mask? Give me back my face! Give me back my face! That was funny.
Yeah, okay, yeah, in a way he's also like Rorschach. They both prefer to wear a mask, and neither of them has a problem fucking you up in the long run.
Yeah, I don't see Boba Fett quite like Rorschach at all.
No, I mean in certain respects, not completely. Like, no, Boba Fett is like a mercenary. Rorschach is a vigilante who pursues his own perversion of justice.
Oh. Give me back my face. No, Bruce, I think Nathan's like equating like just one similarity, the fact that
Yeah.
Boba Fett and
Yeah, I do that sometimes.
I go for the more I go for the direct route.
Yeah.
So it's like how many few characters can you combine to equal the one character?
I just go for all of the above. Like, I could make connections in small ways or big ways. It doesn't really matter to me. Best line ever. Oh yeah, I love that line. That line is badass. Although if I was thrown in prison and I said that, I'd probably die the next day.
No, you would be rammed harder than the guy from Deliverance.
Wow, dude. Not if I use you as a human shield.
Yeah, I like the fact he threw that stuff in that guy's face.
There's a comment section.
Oh yeah, there is. Yeah, there's a comment section. I think this is a YouTube live stream.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I can only post this on YouTube. I can't post it on Odyssey yet.
Oh. I was gonna say, are you sure? Are you sure you're gonna be able to post this on YouTube? I didn't know, so I've been saying shit that
he's done it before.
Oh no, I said earlier that I would probably get demonetized. Now, thankfully, I don't get any monetization because I'm a nobody. But at the same time, like, oh, they're gonna go after me for this probably.
Yeah. No, dude, they only play a modern morality game when it's someone that gets attention. If it's like a channel that gets like 1 or 2 or 3 views, often they don't pay they pay no mind. It's very hypocritical.
Yeah, they go celebrity hunting. They go after the big fish. The little fish they don't give a shit about yet.
And the big fish and the medium fish. When the little fish become medium or big, that's when they go after them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a bunch of malarkey.
Yeah. But then again, they haven't gone after me for all the individual videos I've done where I've basically said some pretty nasty shit. So I think I'm good.
For now.
For now, yeah, exactly.
I'm just messing with you. I'm not being serious.
Oh yeah, no, I've said probably some stuff they would consider vile. Like I've said, I said blackwashing redheads is hypocritical. I've said diversity is a cancer.
Oh yeah, that statement right
And
there.
none of those are really that bad. They're not like what I was saying earlier about well, I said tranny. That's a no-no. Apparently, yeah, I've been told by one communist that using the word tranny is the equivalent of saying the N-word, and I promptly had to ask them, "How many black people do you know?" And have you ever told them this? I wonder how they would feel if you're equating both of those words. Like, I would love to know what their take on it is.
Oh no!
Oh no! Oh no, Nazo's back.
Hey, I wonder if it worked this time.
Nope.
Yeah, his connection. And god damn it, I can't get the Hysteria songs out of my head. Now that I mentioned it, now everything's coming back to me.
Oh, man, my back hurts. And he's gone.
Yeah.
I thought my internet was bad.
Yeah. Hey Nathan, I know a good chiropractor for your back who can help you.
Bane.
Yeah, damn it. Oh man, you saw that coming, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, never tell bad jokes to a guy who does bad jokes habitually.
Fair enough, I guess. Fair enough. I will break your mind and your body. Just throws him down on his knee. I feel like in Rises, the way Bane broke Batman's back was a bit too rushed, but that's just how I feel. I think it should have been slower. Like just a little slower, yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious. Could Chewbacca be the Bane of Star Wars?
No, Nathan. No.
I mean, Wookiees are insanely strong.
Yeah.
Across the board. Like their constitution is off the charts, their strength is off the chart. Like they're really powerful dudes.
Yeah.
Like they could rip your arms off and beat you in the head with a drum. Like they could rip your arms off and beat you over the head with them like you're a drum.
And now I'm thinking of drumsticks. Thanks, Nathan.
Oh, for God's sake,
Yeah, I'm
man!
kind of sad. My Star Wars D&D campaign, no one wanted to play a Wookiee this time around. Or we had one guy who wanted to, but then he didn't actually join us. So I was like, oh, no Wookiees. We did.
Oh, that's
droid, though, so I was surprised. Someone wanted to play a droid.
Oh. Yeah, someone told me that we were doing a Star Wars role play, and someone said they didn't want to be a Wookiee because they weren't sure if they could type, their dialogue in English, or if they had to use the growls and then type their dialogue in English. So they kind of threw a fit about it.
Yeah, is Dirge the big bounty hunter? I sometimes forget him.
Yes, Dirge is a bounty hunter.
Dirge is amazing.
Yes.
I love Dirge.
Yeah.
My Star Wars,
like Naza said, he's
right now playing.
He's the Bane of Star Wars. Then.
Okay.
I'd agree with that. Yeah.
Honestly, though, my favorite Dirge fight is between him and Obi-Wan in the 2003 Clone Wars. I love that fight. Oh wow. Okay, Kat. Okay.
Yeah, he's a shifty one. Never trust a guy who's named Cat. Like cats are shifty.
Shifty. Shapeshifters?
No.
Are you serious, Nazo? What the hell? Actually, we need to stick to the Jedi tradition of burning people's corpses after they're dead. Just setting their body on, after they die, just setting their bodies on fire and having a funeral.
Funeral pyre.
You want to know something funny about that? There's a story they told in high school. A couple that was old went to Jerusalem. You know what happened? The old lady died, and they told the husband, "Okay, you can pay this amount to have her buried here in the Holy Land, or this extra amount to have her shipped off home. What do you want to do?" And you know what he says? I'll pay for the extra amount the double amount to have her shipped back home. Why? Because the last time someone died in your Holy Land, he came back to life a couple of days later. I don't want to risk
that. That's great.
Yeah. The reason why I like Jedi funerals is because a lot of real life traditional cultures would do what the Jedi do and burn the dead bodies of people. So when the Jedi do it, it just reminds me of those cultures.
I
love these references.
Yeah, I still see their dicks, but I like their customs.
What customs? Oh, who? The Greeks?
The Jedi.
Oh, the Jedi. Okay.
Yeah, again, I think they're assholes, but I like their customs.
You're referring to the EU Jedi, right?
Yeah, no, the EU Jedi. And also, like Nazu said, they also have a Viking aspect. Like the burning people, that probably came from the Vikings. Like they would put you on a boat, then set the boat on fire, then send it adrift with you on it after you
died.
The
Vikings did do that. That's what made me like Freya's death in Thor 2. I don't know. That scene was emotional. Say what you want about the movie, but that was an emotional scene, damn it.
The only thing I like about that movie is that Loki got the last laugh in the movie.
Actually, yeah, that was peak Loki. The way that movie ended, I remember I loved the way that ended. I was like, yeah, I could see Loki doing that. That was clever.
Yep.
Honestly, though, no one talks about it, but Asgard was doing pretty much fine under Loki in the MCU. I mean,
yeah. Then Taika Waititi took over, and look what happened.
No, Nathan. I'm referring to the fact that in Ragnarok, Asgard looks like it's in relative peace, and Loki's pretending to be Odin. It's like, okay, so you're telling me that years have gone by since the Dark World, and nothing bad has happened to Asgard until now under Loki. And everyone was trying to stop him from becoming a ruler. That's hilarious.
Yep. What the frick? Oh, it's the
to say, I don't know much about Thor lore. My one girlfriend tried to get me into Thor.
Yeah.
And this was years ago. This was before Thor 1 even. What's it called? She was telling me about, or when I was researching it and learning about Thor's lore to see if I would even like the characters. It was, to my understanding, the whole Thor becoming the ruler of Asgard was a big deal.
Yeah.
That he was tyrannical. He was absolutely tyrannical, but you didn't get any of that from the movies. So it's like, obviously, at least to me, in my novice information or knowledge, it's like that's not adhering to the canon. It's like, okay, this is just completely made up or something. And the movies really watered down Loki. To my understanding of the comics, he's a savage dude.
Like, no, he's very savage. But the MCU tried to humanize all the characters, including Loki.
Well, what made Thor 1 good was him being a believable villain.
Yeah.
And you have this problem where if someone is good, you want to bring them back because they're good. And Loki is a character you can do that with, right? Because Thor doesn't kill him.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to kill him. Thor is like Superman in that regard, where he's like, okay, I want to, I'm not going to sink to my enemy's level. So it's like, so Loki is a character you can bring him back because Thor isn't going to kill him. But they take that and run with it and turn it into, okay, well, everyone likes him, so we can't just keep having him in the movie and not do something, good, or always have him as the antagonist. So,
I mean, the thing about Loki is that, Thor and Loki in Marvel, they're like Asgardians. So even if you kill them, they're not gone forever. It's the concept that, the Asgardians in the Marvel multiverse are basically everlasting in the sense that they can die, they can be hurt, but at the end of the day, They can reincarnate. They always come back in some form. It's crazy. Hey Nathan, you wanna know something funny?
What?
You want to know a similarity between the Marvel Thor lore and the Norse mythology lore?
What?
The normies know neither. They don't know. They don't know. They don't know the Marvel Thor lore, and they don't know actual Norse mythology. They just know
Well, yeah,
they just know the movies.
that's normies for you. Normies are like there's a reason why I coined the term the normie solution.
The normies.
Yeah, they are the most useful. Like, they do not get into stuff. They go to what's popular. They don't invest in anything. It's just, oh, this is popular, so I'll try it out. Like the attention span of a gnat.
Mm.
I'd agree with that.
So
yeah. I don't know.
That's why I say like the normie take on the Joker is, oh, he's the go-to villain for Batman. He's the perfect foil. He's the exact opposite of Batman in every way. And it's like, okay, that's the normie take, and that's because if all you watch is Hollywood and you listen to
exactly,
listen to anything after The Dark Knight or after Killing Joke, that's all people care about is OMG. But if you go back to the Batman animated series in the 90s, the Joker wasn't like the overarching villain of everything. He had like 3 episodes, 4 episodes, maybe 5.
Are we talking what are we talking?
Kevin Conroy.
The DCAU. Well, Joker had a lot of episodes, but he didn't have the most episodes.
Well, yeah, like right. So it's not like the entire thing is about him.
I'd say all the villains are like evenly placed in that universe.
Correct. Right. And that's good. That's because that's how you do balance. Contrast that to the fucking Arkham games. Contrast who's the main villain in all 4 of them.
I'll say this: what I'll give the DCAU this is they made all the villains since they made them all like balanced out. They all stand out on their own. Like you could say, Two-Face is a damn good villain, or Clayface is a damn good villain. And honestly, I honestly don't think any adaptation has done Clayface justice besides the DCAU. Like they told a very emotional, tragic story with that character in ways that most adaptations they just have Clayface there.
Yeah, I'd agree. Clayface is a great character, and they just I agree with you. They don't do anything with him.
There's a lot of villains.
I have many bounties available.
There's I think the Batman, which is another one. The Batman did a decent job of Clayface. I like the story they did with that. It's nowhere near the DCAU, but it's still pretty good. God of War 4. I've never played that.
Yeah, I had this conversation with Cat once. Basically, like it felt like they were. I can't remember exactly how he worded it, but it was like they were retreading old ground with the 4th game. Like Kratos learned lessons from the games.
Yeah,
but it's like he had to relearn those lessons in 4. I think Cat could do a better job of explaining this than me.
Oh, it's a little thing we like to call redoing the character arc.
Yeah.
No, that's the thing with video games, right? Like the objective is to teach the new people who've never played before how to play. So they always come up with some sort of vehicle or vessel to say, all right, it's like Samus in Metroid. It's like at the start of every game, she's got like nothing. And then you got to build up your repertoire of abilities. Mega Man's the same thing. Mario's the same thing. It's like you start the game out with nothing, and then you have like your little guide that tells you and narrates to you, okay, you got to do this, this, this. If you're already familiar with the series, it's like, oh, this character is just completely depowered and useless. But if you they're depowered and useless. But if you're new to the franchise, like this is your first introduction, then
you ever go out
they still need to teach you like it's a whole new game.
Just the 2 of you.
my one friend says to me with the Witcher series, he's like, skip 1 and 2. Just skip them. Don't even play them. Go right to Witcher 3. Now, me being who I am, I was like, nah, I'm gonna play Witcher 1. So I still haven't completed Witcher 1. That game is just it's an odd game.
You haven't completed the game. I haven't even completed the first season of the Netflix show, which I gotta continue that at some point.
Yeah, I don't really have an interest in watching the show, honestly, personally.
A lot of my friends say that the show's shit, but I'm like, I still want to give it a chance.
Yeah, my buddy who loves Witcher, like absolutely loves Witcher, said the first season is good. I don't know what he thinks about the second season, because from what I heard from people who share his sentiment, like, oh, season 1 is good, they said season 2 is mediocre. It's like, eh. You know,
I've heard most people say season 2 is bad.
Yeah, I've heard a few people say that, but like if I'm balancing out the people who say it's good and the people who say it's meh and the people who say it's bad, it comes out to a rating in my book as it's mediocre, somewhat decent.
I could agree on that. I think it's a bit mediocre. I got bored at some points with it. Yeah. I don't know, but when it comes to normies, like I normally don't like to use that word, but sometimes I do use it. And honestly, it's like growing up as a kid, it's like when I got into a trend, I wanted to know everything about it. So I read the books, I played the games, I watched the shows, I watched the movies, like anything related to it, I would try to understand it, try to get into it. But a lot of my friends, not all of them, but a lot of them were like, nah, I just care about the movies. Like, I'll give an example. When the MCU started, I was really young, and there was Iron Man 1 and Iron Man 2. So I read a shit ton of Iron Man comics. I watched the shows. I played the games. I tried to understand Iron Man when I was really young. But I had some friends, they were like, no, I just want to watch the movies. I don't care for the show. I don't care for the comics. I don't care for the games. Just show me more Iron Man on screen. That's all they cared about. So I guess, and then eventually, like, as time passed, they're like, you know what? I don't really care for Iron Man anymore. So I guess for some people, it's just, the current thing. It's probably what it is.
For me, I didn't really care about comics until I started role-playing. That's what got me into comics. And it got me into Batman. I wasn't really a Batman fan growing up. Like, I'd seen some of the cartoons. I liked Batman, but I was actually more interested in Nightwing. I thought Nightwing was cool. I liked Batman Beyond. And
Nightwing is cool.
When the Dark Knight, or when Batman Begins came out, one of my roleplay partners at the time, we were playing Stargate. She asked me, she got inspired from Batman Begins. She's like, hey, would you be interested in taking up a new character? I was like, what character? She's like, Batman. I was like, I think I kind of like Superman more, honestly. But that was me not knowing, me just being a normie and watching Batman/Superman World's Finest, right. And, watching Batman Forever, Batman and Robin, Batman Returns, and Batman 89. But I eventually said yes, and I started playing Batman, and then I started getting people hounding me that I need to read the comics. So I'm like, all right, I fought them tooth and nail. Like, I don't need to read the comics. And then it's like when I finally started reading the comics, it was like, okay, this is a different character.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't really give a shit about any of that stuff until I started role playing and having to write the characters.
Yeah. Actually, Troubled Cat, that's why I will 90% always respect Henry Cavill, because he actually understands that when fans aren't happy about an adaptation, it doesn't make them racist, it doesn't make them sexist, it doesn't make them haters. They're just not a fan of the adaptation. They're not a fan of the changes, or they're just not a fan of what's being done with the adaptation, or the fact that there is an adaptation. I appreciate that he understands the actual issue, that he doesn't just try to hate on people.
Yeah, and that's the best way to do it. That's the fantastic way to do it. Because, all right, this person doesn't like the adaptation. That's fine. There is someone out there who does. There's going to be someone out there. You have your lofty pixels out there who are like, oh, it's perfectly fine. It's good. It's great. you, the fan, you're like, I don't like this shit. This is garbage. And that's good because then it tells the writers, and that's how you're supposed to respond to someone that doesn't like your material. You then leave it open for someone else to come up and say, all right, you didn't like Tim Burton's Batman? Fine. Here's Joe Schumacher's Batman. And then you're like, I don't like that one either. All right, here's Chris Nolan's Batman. And you're like, okay, this one might not be that bad. And then someone's like, here's Adam West's Batman. You're like, okay, I like this Batman. It's a lot more to the Batman I grew up with. And it's perfectly fine to do that. This whole going after people because, oh, you're racist or you're a phobic or you're insert communist buzzword here, right? It's retarded. It's stupid.
You just don't appreciate the greatness of diversity. I'm like, okay, all right.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you get. I got into an argument with. I get into arguments with people all the time on the twat that like normal people aren't racist. I don't know how many times I can say that. Normal people. If you I grew up in the inner city. You grow up in the inner city. People are going to say racist things all the time. If they're making a racist remark at you, okay, that's simply because they know nothing about you and they need something to emphasize to you how they feel about you because they got nothing else. They don't know you. All they can say is, oh, your skin color, and then insert some sort of racist term,
Right. No, I don't know. It's like I've heard for years how racist the South is. I grew up in the South for at least a part of my life. The people in the South are some of the nicest people I've ever met in my life. Then I go to the urban areas of the world and I meet some of the cruelest people I've ever seen in my life. But I'm told that the South is all these horrible things. I'm not even saying bad things don't happen in the South. I mean, my experiences were better there than in the cities.
Hey guys, I think we should probably end it here. Like it's almost been 3 hours.
A total of 3 hours. The sand in the glass is like the final drops of sand have finally dropped.
I mean, you're the boss here, man.
Yeah,
your
you
choice.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I think I'll end it here. It was only supposed to be 2 hours, so we're like 41 minutes late. Oh well. So thanks for coming, guys.
Thank you for inviting
me.
Sure. Yeah, Chola Cat, thanks for sticking with me on this one. Naza, if you see this again, thanks for stopping by.
I think he's gone, man.
Yeah, I know if he comes back to this video, that's why I'm saying that.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah, I understand.
Yeah, anything you want to say before I end the video?
That's all, folks. Like Porky Pig. That's what he says.
Remember the game was rigged from the start.
Well, what game? What are you talking about?
It's the thing I say at the end of the videos. Well, I used to say it at the end of every video.
Oh. Dude, you got to say it in a cool way. You got to say the game was rigged from the. Oh, fuck, I ruined it. I ruined it. Yeah. The game was ruined. I mean, the game was rigged from the start, you fools. You idiotic fools.
I gotta go. I've got to find Destiny to lead. So, y'all have a good one.
Yeah, you too, man.
See ya, Bruce.
Later.